Welcome to College Station, home of the 12th man. It's the Rebels versus the Aggies.
Let's go! We're just getting warm.
Into the end zone, touchdown, Ole Miss.
We're just touchdown, Aggies. We're just getting warmed up.
The Home Depot SEC on CBS.
Howdy and good morning from Aggieland, Kyle Field, College Station, Texas. The first of two matchups in the SEC West. The Home Depot SEC on CBS. The Rebels of Ole Miss against the Texas A&M Aggies. With John Shriffen on the sideline, Rick Neuheisel, Aaron Taylor, I'm Carter Blackburn, and good morning to you, gentlemen. And I think, Aaron, these Aggie fans and the 12th man happy that for the first time in over a month, Texas A&M's at home.
It's always good to be home, boys, isn't it? Well, Jimbo Fisher told us this week that winning is a learned behavior. This is a Texas A&M team, fellas, that hasn't played well in November. Being home in front of a raucous crowd, this is a game that this fan base expects them to win.
And for Ole Miss, the word is finish. They can't play in postseason this year. They're not eligible to do so, but don't bother to tell them that. Their attitudes are up-tempo just like their offense. Look for them to come out of the gates fast today, Carter.
Let's take a look at our Do Project Smarter presented by the Home Depot. We begin with the Aggies.
Well, the Aggies coaching staff would be smart to feed the ball to Travion Williams. He leads the SEC in all-purpose yards, and he's a tough runner between the tackles and explosive on the edge. But Mike Elko, the young, smart defensive coordinator, has been masterful turning this defense around. The key today for the Aggies is playing the long ball deep against an explosive offense, Rick.
The cornerstone of the Ole Miss offense is senior quarterback Jordan Ta'amu. In a word, Ta'amu has been brilliant. He combines downfield accuracy with great arm strength, and his 9.6 yards per attempt is fourth in the country. He also is a huge contributor in the running game, having gained 250 yards in the Rebels' last 3 games. Ta'amu will be at his best today, and I'm looking forward to it.
Hullabaloo, connect. The Aggies ready to gig 'em against the Rebels. Hotty toddy. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Chick-fil-A, New York Life, GMC, and by State Farm. Those dear old Texas Aggies ready for kickoff against the Rebels of Ole Miss. Matt Luke, first full season as head coach of the Ole Miss Rebels. Interim last year, Jimbo Fisher in his first season as head coach of the Aggies at Texas A&M. One of 4 active head coaches to have a national championship. Both coaches must put last week behind when both teams led by double digits in the fourth quarter and yet managed to lose. And Kyle Field is ready for the SEC West matchup. Ole Miss won the toss, elected to receive. Hands kickoff. Elijah Moore will hit a knee, and Ole Miss gets it at the 25. So let's take a look at our Chick-fil-A starting lineups, beginning with the Rebels and quarterback Jordan Ta'amu, the senior from Pearl City, Hawaii, on Oahu via New Mexico Military Institution. Took over the QB duties for the Rebels a year ago when Shea Patterson went down, and then went on to Ann Arbor. Now a senior, Jordan Ta'amu has gone from relatively unheralded JUCO recruit to star quarterback in the SEC. The biggest question of the week, Aaron, is the health of his ankle.
Keep an eye on that right ankle. It didn't look very good, like he trusted it very much in the pregame warm-ups. He's going to need that in the run game today.
Passing to the outside, A.J. Brown. Good gain on first down, slipping through the secondary and across the 40. Bottled up, still managed to get plus yards.
Phil Longo's offense is RPO, run pass option. They were running a counter inside. He took the easy hitch outside, and A.J. Brown made something big out of it.
They go right at the new corner, Miles Jones, for a gain of 18. And now on the ground, Scotty Phillips. Aggies ready for that one, a tackle for bit of a loss. Let's take a look at Rick's report on Jordan Ta'amu.
He is the consummate dual threat quarterback. He is efficient both in the air and the ground. Right now, his weakness is, as Aaron just mentioned, the right ankle. How much can they count on him in the running game?
Ta'amu's going to fake it. Back in the pocket, Ta'amu slips away. Has to dump it incomplete to the sideline. Landis Durham, the senior defensive end, broke through to put the pressure.
Landis Durham coming off that outside edge. One of the things you have to do as a pass rusher is stay alive. Good job disengaging with his offensive lineman. Ta'amu just getting that ball away towards the end of the game. When he came back a week ago, his mobility in situations just like that was compromised. That's got to be encouraging that he got out of there.
And now 3rd and long against the much improved Aggie defense. Ta'amu pressured again. And he will go down at the 33, and this time the pressure from Alaka, a middle linebacker, Otaro Alaka. That's a loss of 9.
You have to believe that 100% Jordan Ta'amu gets out of this. Right here, maybe just tripped up, but clearly a little bit hobbled.
And Aaron, you watched him in warm-ups. You didn't think he'd been playing very well.
No, I was down there with Striffen, and he just wasn't putting hardly any weight on that back ankle.
Rugby-style kick, Mac Brown. Fair catch called for at the 30-yard line by Roshad Paul. So take a look at our Chick-fil-A starting lineups on this side with the Aggie offense. We begin with Kellen Mond, the sophomore from San Antonio, Reagan High School, then IMG Academy in Florida. Started last year, won the job again in fall camp. Last couple weeks, late picks. Jimbo Fisher was asked this week if he supports Kellen Mond, and before the question was even out, Jimbo said in his press conference, 1,000% I am behind Kellen Mond as our starting quarterback. Gillespie and Travion Williams in the backfield then. Dare I say some motion on the line prior to snap. That'll be 1st and 5 for the Ags.
Offside, defense number 97. 5-yard penalty, still first out.
With your Shepherd.
The kind of things that drive coaches crazy.
Oh, buddy.
You're coming out of the box, everybody's ready to play, eager to get started. Just watch the ball there, young man. Just watch the ball.
There seem to be a lot of things that drive coaches crazy. Okay?
That's why coaches end up in the house. Or on microphones.
And now on 1st and 5, here's Williams bouncing it outside. Travion Williams stood up, driven back. Jalen Julius makes a stop. 3rd down coming. Here's Rick's report.
Well, it's easy to understand why Jimbo's so fond of Kellen Mond. The game is never too big for him. He's been Johnny on the spot all season long. He threw for 430 yards against Clemson. If he's got a weakness, he still is prone to make an ill-advised throw. Last week, late in the game against Auburn, a perfect example. The interception that turned the tide for the Tigers down in on the Plains.
2nd and short. On Williams, here's a reverse, and it is blown up in the backfield. The Rebels ready for the reverse to Courtney Davis. And Will Hibbler, the junior outside linebacker, now forces 3rd down.
They have Hibbler down here at the bottom of the screen. If you're the end man on the line of scrimmage, your job is to contain. He reads this, he peeks inside, and then just gets inside the block of Colin Gillespie to come up for a huge play, nullifying that 1st down freebie of 5 yards they gave him.
All the numbers say Ole Miss is the SEC's worst defense, but Willie Hibbler's still flashing land sharp. 3rd and long, Mond on the roll. Mond tosses, it is caught! 1st down, Jace Sternberger, the tight end, goes up to get it. Terrific ball skills, Sternberger, gain of 15.
2 beautiful plays there. Both Mond getting the throw off accurately, and Sternberger, has he been an unbelievable find for Jimbo Fisher. The junior college tight end, wasn't even the starter in college. In the junior college ranks, comes in and is now their leading receiver.
He was a backup for the Northeastern Oklahoma A&M Golden Norsemen a year ago, and now a huge weapon in the Aggies offense in the SEC. Mond zips it, screen is busted by the Rebels. Tough tackling on the outside. That's Jalen Julius again. And AT, take us through some lineups.
Well, keep your eye on the outside edge, because this Aggie offense is getting Jamin Osborne back. This guy's missed the last 4 games, but he brings a physicality and some leadership to that position. kind of coaches the young guys up. Some of the other receivers have stepped up, but having him back is a huge benefit for this offense. Remember, he was a high school teammate of Kellen Mond, so those two have a connection.
On 2nd and 12, back to the ground. Williams, right side, pushing across the 50, falls forward. Mohamed Sanogo on the stop. Let's take a look at the Rebel defense.
Well, keep your eye on number 36, Zedrick Woods. He's an active low safety, kind of a boxy guy, but he's got some range. He's very physical against the run. Brings a lot of leadership to this defense, particularly on the back end that has seen so many changes. A big reason why they've struggled back there.
Rick giving up 36 points per game, 499 yards a game.
It's been a mash unit. They can't keep guys healthy. Lost 3 guys in the secondary early in the season, but they don't want any excuses. Wesley McGriff says they're playing as hard as any team he's ever been around.
Mond on 3rd and 6, zips it incomplete. Somewhere in there, a miss. Buckley was the underneath receiver. Davis going long.
He was trying to get the ball to Buckley on a little hook route right there. Just got it too high. Got away from him. This is one of the things about Kellen Mond you wonder about too, is his accuracy. He's less than a 60% passer. And Jimbo Fisher in his pro style deal, I know he's lent himself a little bit to the quarterback run game, Aaron, but he likes this drop back thrown from the pocket quarterback.
That's still a part of his game that he's starting to develop, going through his read progressions and looking off safeties is where he can tend to improve.
One of the nation's best punters, Braden Mann. Fair catch called for at the 5 by Elijah Moore. Scoreless start in Aggieland. South Carolina, Ole Miss, 1,100 yards of offense, even though the Rebels couldn't even move it in the 4th.
If you like offense, that's your kind of game. Defensive coordinators cringe when they hear those kind of numbers.
The spigot turned off for the Rebels a week ago because of the lack of mobility with Jordan Ta'amu, who had left the game in the 3rd quarter and came back in. He just wasn't himself, and from what I've seen already, he's limited here today. That is definitely something to keep your eye on. Expect Texas A&M to bring more pressure as a result.
Ta'amu from his own goal line. They'll hand off. Phillips, nothing much there on 1st down. Let's look at the offensive lineup for the Rebels.
Keep your eye on wide receiver A.J. Brown. He's one of the best wide receivers that Mississippi has ever had. He leads the SEC in receiving yards per game at 102. He's playing in the outside receiver position, number 1, closest to the sideline because of the injury to DK Metcalf. He was, prior to that, a slot receiver, but he's done a nice job out there.
2nd and 9, Phillips right side. Tracked down again by Alaka, who already has 4 tackles and a sack in this game. And Scotty Phillips down on the ground as we look at the Aggie defense.
Keep your eye today on number 10, Miles Jones. He's starting over Debione Renfro. Jones started the game a week ago. Playing the deep ball against this explosive offense is the key that defensive coordinator Mike Elko told me before the game they had to accomplish.
And Rick, now your attention for Ole Miss. Scotty Phillips, who's nearing 1,000 rushing yards, 3rd in the SEC, and Phillips is down on the ground. We will discuss in a moment. The Rebels
came into today with a chance to go over 1,000 yards. It looks like he gets his ankle caught underneath him right here. He looked in great deal of pain coming off the field. And so you wanted to be a head coach, Matt Luke. You lose your best running back early in the game. Your quarterback's hobbled. See if they can cobble together some offense despite the injuries to 2 of their key performers.
Isaiah Woolard, the true freshman, had a touchdown in the 4th quarter against South Carolina, but a much bigger spot here. With Phillips down, 3rd and 6, the Rebels inside their own 10. Ta'amu hobbled with an ankle injury as well, and the Aggies pin their ears back. Ta'amu on the roll across the 5. Ta'amu shoved out of bounds near the 10. So testing out the ankle with Durham chasing him down. Ta'amu still well short of the 1st down, 18.
His mobility within and outside the pocket was so impressive on tape, but he almost took a sack there initially and then found a way to get outside on the edge. He's just not himself. So with your 2 biggest playmakers on the road being nicked up, it's going to be a tough out for this Ole Miss offense that has to find a way to get something going.
Rebels have moved running backs to safety, so their depth there is very thin. Brown on the roll, hits it inside the 5. Paul lets it hit at the 50 and lets it roll. Now Paul will have to run back. He touched the football. Wow. Paul gets back on it at the 30. He let it roll 20 yards. A huge special teams advantage for Mac Brown and the Rebels on the roll. Just when Ole Miss needed a little boost.
He just doesn't look the same.
And Aaron, there are two ways to play defense. One is obviously with your defensive unit on the field. The other is to keep that other opposing offense on the sideline with time of possession. The Aggies have been fantastic all season long in that category.
Army, the only team ahead of Texas A&M time of possession-wise in the FBS. And Travion Williams on first down. On the left side, Williams gets a good push to near the 34-yard line. That's Zedrick Woods on the stop. We expected maybe a shootout in this game. Got 3 punts already so far.
Defenses are showing up a little bit. I think this Ole Miss offense, as we talked about, is a little bit hobbled up. But what Texas A&M wants to do is establish the ground game. It's Jimbo Fisher. So, yeah, he wants excellent quarterback play. But when you have a Kellen Mond who's got some ability and you have Travion Williams who's so explosive, you want to start with the run, establish that, and then take some vertical shots.
Audible from Mond on second down.
Press coverage, and now they back off a little bit.
Kellen Mond steps up in the pocket over the middle. Williams outlet. Williams makes the grab and has a first down. And Rick, they've been getting Travion Williams involved more in the pass game.
He is having a fantastic year. We mentioned Scotty Phillips had a chance to go over 1,000 yards today. So too does Travion Williams. He's over 900 coming into the game, but he's absolutely increased his ability to catch the ball. He's been a really viable receiver this year, and they also rave about his blocking ability, both from a pass protection standpoint and also lead blocking for Mond on the quarterback draw.
Mond fake it, and now has to toss it with pressure in his face. Mond makes the throw, and Buckley holds it in for another Aggie first down, crossing the 50.
There were a lot of people wondered whether Mond would win this job with Nick Starkel also on the roster, more of a prototype pocket quarterback. Mond's athleticism won the day.
Excellent job of stopping and setting his feet there for the accurate throw.
Aggies hurry up on first down. Williams takes the toss. Another hole opens up on the left side. Closes quickly. There's Mohamed Sandogo, the sophomore leading tackler for the Rebels. 11 tackles and a huge fourth quarter sack against the Gamecocks.
Aaron, you mentioned how much they want to establish this run game, and no truer words were ever spoken. Jim Turner, their offensive line coach, that is music to his ears. With his Boston dialect, he loves to run the ball.
Very familiar when we were out there in practice listening to coach up his guys. Boy, oh boy.
A former Marine, Coach Turner. His guys love him.
Coach him hard, love him hard.
Mond second and 7, steps up to look. It's high, intended for Courtney Davis. So, Rick, a couple of high throws early from Mond.
He's been high all day. Sometimes when you're not transferring your weight from the back foot to the front foot, you can see him kind of getting stiff-legged in that front leg right there. That's why it causes that ball to get high. Just let it go, young man. You've got open receivers.
That ball just didn't look good, AT.
No, it didn't. Didn't come off his hand very well at all. And watching him on film, that's where he tends to miss, is a little bit high.
You guys didn't like the ballistics, huh?
No.
Looked like Jupiter 2 in a meteor shower.
There's not significant wind on the field either. 3rd and 7. Heavy pressure coming from the Rebels. Mond steps up, delivers off the hands of Sternberger. Mond with heavy pressure in his face. Here comes a flag.
Looked as if he got held a little bit back there. The back judge looked to see it the same way.
Those are the things that kills coaches, Rick. To extend a drive on 3rd down where the rush almost got home and your big weapon and Sternberger has a drop.
Coney got the pressure. Now we check the flag.
Pass interference, defense number 15. It's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Well, Miles Hartfield got the start at safety today.
By the way, guys, that was like seeing a unicorn, seeing Sternberger actually have one hit his hands and not catch it. He has been an unbelievable pass-catching weapon for the Aggies this season.
He was playing against Vernon Dasher there, who this coaching staff told us they like against some of the bigger personnel. So that's the matchup they want. What they don't want is have Dasher on some of the more speed and perimeter type receivers. So that's something for us to keep an eye on as this game develops.
Said the penalty was on Hartfield, but it was Dasher there in coverage. Nevertheless, 1st and 10, Williams. Push it inside the 25-yard line. Sanogo, and there the Aggies go, trying to give Travion Williams a little push from behind, Aaron.
I love it. What I've seen on tape is that
Correction, the pass
Travion Williams
interference was on number 3.
We had it.
They heard you.
He's a great inside runner in the inside zone scheme. He uses his eyes well. He's patient, but he's so explosive on the outside edge. He's an undersized back, but he's really athletic, and I've been impressed with his power, Rick.
Absolutely powerful young man. Here's a interesting place. Do you take a shot here thinking that you got 2 downs to get the 1st down, or you want to keep pounding?
What do you think?
I actually think they're going to pound it right here.
Here you go. Williams, right side, trying to find the edge. Williams wrestled down. Sanogo on the outside, and he goes from the mic all the way to the sideline to make the tackle to force 3rd and 7.
I've been impressed with Sanogo. To be a good linebacker, you have to read your keys and diagnose. Look how he keeps his outside arm and leg free. That leverage is what allows him to get one of the more explosive backs in this conference on the ground, bringing up a 3rd and long.
You understand why the Rebels, even though the numbers are all bad, there's hope building around Sanogo in the middle.
They've got a great attitude, too. I think that's the thing that really impressed me the most talking with the players and coaches this week is they don't have anything to play for, quote unquote, but they play hard.
Mond, 3rd and 7, steps up, delivers right at the sticks. Buckley holds it in. Move the chains to the 15. Aggies are in the red zone.
This one he gets the right ballistics and gets it under the chin of the receiver. Feet are right. Ball comes out well. 1st down, Aggies.
And yet, Aaron, here's one of the big issues for the Aggies. Only 55% touchdowns in the red zone.
And it's a big reason why you're not successful. You can't cross the 20 and get down here in the money zone and walk away with field goals.
Mond, draw from the 15, only gets a couple.
If you go back and watch Jimbo Fisher's offenses from Florida State, there wasn't a lot of quarterback run game. But as he looked at his personnel when he arrived here in College Station, he realized an athletic quarterback was going to suit his needs better than maybe the prototype pocket style quarterback, given where he thought his depth was in the offensive front and what he thought he had at receiver. The quarterback run game was featured big time last week at Auburn on that opening drive. They went down the field, ended up kicking a field goal, but that is a big time portion of their offense. It hasn't always been the case with Jimbo.
And now the point is to get it in the end zone rather than settling for 3. So fling it to the outside, Buckley. Blockers ahead, Buckley inside the 5, shoved out. It will be 1st and goal, Texas A&M.
Red zone really was the difference in their game a week ago against Auburn. This is just a play action pass coming up, getting rid of that ball quickly. Buckley almost drops that ball, but he gets it back under control. Red zone production was a difference a week ago. 4 trips for Auburn, 4 touchdowns, 28 points. 4 trips for Texas A&M, 17 points. This is where you win ball games, and this is the expectation this fan base has. If you're going to win in November, you got to get this ball into the end zone in situations like this.
They were working on a little quarterback sweep into the boundary here.
Bond, Williams pushing, gets to the 1 on 1st down. Austrian Robinson, junior from New York City, grew up in Harlem, makes the stop.
You have a mobile quarterback like a Kellen Mond down here basically on the 1-yard line. It gives the defense a lot to think about. The defensive ends have to be smart and crash, but you have to have somebody that sets the edge and has contained in case the quarterback comes out. Here we see an I formation. This is going to be big boy football.
Handoff, Williams pushing and pushed back. So it will be 3rd and goal as the Rebels and Victor Evans flex their muscles at the goal line.
Great job by the Ole Miss front. This is just big boy football right now. Get behind your pads and push that line of scrimmage. Tug of war like out in the old schoolyard, Aaron. This is, you love this portion of the game.
I love it. This is about want to down here. Like, they know what you're going to do. You're lined up nose to nose. They crowd the neutral zone. This is just about coming flat back, and all that work in the offseason, the shoots and the squat rack, comes down to situations like this.
And here it is, 3rd and goal. Bond will bounce it outside. Touchdown, Aggies. Mond walks in with a block from Jace Sternberger.
This is one of those things you just can't teach. It's instinctive of how to play off your lead blocker. Kellen Mond absolutely just dipped a little bit inside, got the defender to bite inside of Sternberger's block, got outside, walked in for a touchdown. Beautiful job. Hard to teach. Just some guys have it and some guys don't.
There was a pass interference on Dasher that kept the drive alive. And so 13 plays. The PAT is good from Seth Small. So the Rebels had a stop on 3rd down, but the flag on Dasher allowed Texas A&M to keep it rolling. This time the Aggies in the red zone into the end zone. 7-0 start. Kellen Mond. Kick 'em. Well, there's a reason why Kellen Mond has a big smile on his face. They get in the end zone, and Kellen Mond walks in to make it 7 for the Aggies.
Well, it's a beautiful job by Mond here. You can see he's going to borrow a blocker from the backside in Sternberger, and he just dips in there and gets the Ole Miss defender to dive in there and take the cheese, as we like to say, Aaron.
And Tyrekus Tisdale, the coaching point there is you have to set the edge. We talked about how important it is to have that force player. Tisdale took the cheese, his eyes were wrong, and it gave up a touchdown as a result.
Touchback, let's check in with John Shriven for an important update.
Well, guys, Ole Miss running back Scotty Phillips, he has come out of the medical tent. His left ankle is now heavily taped up. It is a left ankle injury. I am told that he is questionable to return to this game. As for quarterback Tamu, we've noticed his right ankle has been injured. It is a very cold day here. I've noticed that his backup quarterback, Matt Corral, the freshman, has been staying loose and has been throwing a lot and will be ready to come in if Tamu can't keep going here today, guys.
Matt Corral had to go in last week and was 0 for 2 and missed badly on a couple of those 2 throws. But obviously he's had a lot of work given that Tamu was hobbled for the week of practice.
Playing to the outside, Cooley, the tight end. Cooley gets to the 35, and Donovan Wilson makes a stop, and now there is an Aggie down. It's Tyrell. That is Tyrell Dodson who is down. A strong side linebacker for the Aggies. Boy, injuries and ankles playing a huge role early on between the Rebels and the Aggies. We step aside. Tyrell Dodson, who has the Aggies' only fumble recovery of the year, limps off. So Scotty Phillips on the Ole Miss sideline, Tyrell Dodson on the Aggie sideline, 2nd and 1. Jordan Ta'amu will read it, hand it off, and pushing for a first down, Isaiah Woolard, the true freshman from Hattiesburg.
That is an amazing statistic you just mentioned there,
Yes.
that only 1 fumble recovery on the entire year. I mean, and Mike Elko's defense is playing very, very well.
The Aggie defense has only 4 takeaways. That is 128th in the country. Only East Carolina has fewer takeaways than Texas A&M.
Last in this conference, talking with the coaches before the game, they're still scratching their heads as to why.
And there'll be a tackle for loss on first down, and a big one. Dalen Mack, the senior from Gladewater, Texas, who's having a great senior year.
He just splits the offensive lineman up front, and he really has had a great year, Carter. His attitude's changed, but you see for a big man, he's got that quick twitch and creates that penetration that's necessary for a tackle for loss.
Unbelievable get-off.
Oof. Nobody's blocking him there. And now to Amu. Read it, toss it. Over midfield, it's Cooley again. Cooley has the 2 big grabs for the Rebels. They cross the 50.
Mike Elko wants to play 2 safeties as much as possible and still be able to control the run. But the RPO world, when you give the belly, put the ball in the belly of your back, that middle of the field becomes vacated. And they took big-time advantage of it right there.
Octavius Cooley had only 4 catches coming into this game on this drive. 2 catches, 32 yards. The Rebels have found a new weapon, and they're going to need it because Scotty Phillips is on the sideline. Jordan Ta'amu is hobbled, and the Aggies have a 7-0 lead at the end of the first quarter. The first of 2 in the SEC West today, the Home Depot SEC on CBS. 7-0 Aggies after 1. Dare I say a discrepancy in time of possession, Aaron, in that first quarter.
Well, that was the thing that Rick was asking us to keep our eye on, but also notice that -3 rushing yards. Tamu's immobility is something that is clearly a storyline in this game. They've got to get something going outside with these receivers.
On 1st and 10, Tamu fakes it, tosses to the outside, slipping away inside the 30-yard line. Here goes Lodge down the sideline, stretching. He's in, touchdown, Ole Miss. First play of the second quarter goes 44 yards, touchdown, Rebels.
If you are going to play man coverage, you have to be counted on either 1, to make the play on the ball, or 2, to make the play on the receiver.
This is Charles Oliver who tries to
Charles Oliver
close.
doesn't get it done, and obviously Lodge takes full advantage.
Great job by Tamu that time, looking everybody off, so focused to his left, comes back around, puts that ball on the money, swinging his feet, getting those things set and putting the ball where Lodge can get it.
And they will have...
You can see that his foot goes out of bounds. Whether the ball crossed the plane before that happens will have to be reviewed.
67 yards passing on the last 2 plays. If this stands as a touchdown, pylon still in bounds.
From the back end, though, I thought we saw his foot slide out of bounds. Let's take a look here. Oliver does a great job trying to get him out of bounds. And where is the ball when he gets outside that line right there?
That foot is clearly in bounds there, and from the previous look that we had on this one, to me it looked like that ball crossed the plane before his outside leg hit the pylon.
I agree with you, Aaron. I think it's going to be a touchdown.
This is the look here.
That left foot still in bounds. The right foot still above. The right foot's kicking the pylon.
Remember, when he hits that pylon, he's effectively out of bounds. That ball breaks the plane, though, and it's a touchdown before that would ever even be a factor.
If this were Olympic gymnastics, I'm giving it a 10.0. He stuck the dismount.
And when we talk to replay officials, they tell you, I mean, we're looking for a clear picture. The wording,
review,
there you go.
ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
And unless you have that clear picture, then you go with stands, and it is a touchdown. And so you go 23 yards through the air and then 44 yards on the last play of the first quarter, second play of the second. And the Aggie secondary gives up a couple big ones.
Phil Longo's offense is about big plays, explosive plays. 2 big plays on that drive got him in the end zone.
Luke Logan on for the PAT, and we are even at 7. 9 seconds into the second quarter. It is flim, flam, bim, bam. Matt Luke and the Rebels even at 7. The Grand Wine, director Mark Grant, hard-working crew. Wade Robinson, John Tobias in the booth. Carter Blackburn, Rick Neuheisel, Aaron Taylor, John Schripp. Luke Logan's kickoff. Corbin will take it at the goal line. He had 1 from 100 earlier this year. Not this time. Gain of 23. Now we send you back to New York and Adam Zucker.
All right, Carter from the swamp after falling behind 14-0. The Gators are on the board now. LaMichael Piron getting in after pass interference set them up fresh. And UCF going for their 22nd in a row, leading Navy 14-0. Guys.
Thank you very much, Adam. The SEC West got Alabama, Mississippi State coming up next.
Some good-looking defense is going to line up against each other in that one.
Hurry up! Hurry up!
Kellen Mond at quarterback. Jayshon Corbin, the freshman running back, is with them in the backfield. And with number 12, Helen Gillespie. Mond on first down, looking for something to do with the football. Courtney Davis left it high, incomplete.
I don't always get the feeling that Kellen Mond knows where to go with the football or when to go with the football. He still struggles to go through his read progressions. That ball was extremely late. You see the indecision there, and he just kind of throws it up, falling way on his back foot. outside the outstretched hands of Courtney Davis.
He was looking for Jamon Osborne, who's returned to the lineup after being gone for the foot injury, and he was not available on the post, and then tried to wait for Davis to come across on the override.
Aggies' last drive, 13 plays and a touchdown, 71 yards. Now on 2nd and 10, Corbin, left side, not much there. You're in 3rd down already. Dasher makes the stop.
Wesley McGriff has to be really excited about the way his defense is playing thus far as he makes a wholesale switch. I mean, these guys have got them into a bunch of 3rd and longs. Now, give the Aggies credit, they've converted on those 3rd and longs a number of times, but this is exactly what you want to dial up as a defense coordinator. As many 3rd and long opportunities as you can muster up.
Looks like the D-line's winning their matchup early on against the Aggies. I didn't expect that coming in, given the production of this defense.
Offensive number 81, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Sternberger, false start. And, you know, Jimbo Fisher talked a lot this week about confidence and the learned behavior, and especially about one mistake a game by everyone on the field is how you blow a double-digit lead in the 4th quarter like they did. And this is where the Aggies are in 2018.
He wants to get this team to understand, why do you have to have a mistake? When we're talking about the mental preparation for a game, why can't everybody be locked in and we can be perfect in terms of the mental side of things?
And now you're in 3rd and long. Rebels getting after Mond. He steps up in the pocket, finds Williams out of the backfield, but he will be wrestled down. Sanogo with another huge stop. That is now 6 tackles already for Mohamed Sanogo.
They're taking away everything deep and covering the receivers, and Kellen Mond's being forced to throw checkdowns. This is a defense that's last in the SEC in points per game, yard per play, pass defense, and rush defense. And they're giving Texas A&M all they can handle on their home field in front of their fans.
Braden Mann averaging 51 yards a punt. There was a big return allowed to Auburn, 31 yards in the 4th. Mistake on punt coverage. And hits this one at the 20. Moore will grab it inside the 30. No mistakes this time on special teams as the Aggies hustle down to get the stop. I mean, excellent punt coverage. Riley Garner. Nothing allowed in punt return to Elijah Moore on this time.
Welcome back here to Texas A&M as we are all tied up at 7. I lost a little sleep last night. That's because I had to check out a tradition here at Texas A&M called a Midnight Yell. Take a listen. How cool is that? Every night before a home game, Midnight Yell takes place here at Texas A&M, where tens of thousands of fans pack this stadium to go over all the yells that they're going to have for the game. One of the reasons why this crowd is such an impact on this game, they're all in one together unison.
John, big ups to you. Even with an early kickoff on Saturday, John made the Midnight Yell practice. Willard to the 9. We were too busy.
You didn't see Aaron in there?
We were too
Aaron
busy.
was right there.
We were too busy with beef ribs and Waylon and Willie on the guitar.
I thought I saw Big AT in there.
There's no chance I was awake after 9 p.m.
Corps cadets in mostly sweatshirts today. On 2nd and short for the Rebels. Here's Willard fighting. Lost the football. Loose football. Rebels appear to be back on top of it. Looks like Knox got back on top of the football. The Aggies nearly had their 2nd fumble recovery of the year. Larry Pryor knocked it loose.
And this has been one of those things that are baffling for Mike Elko's defense. Alaka's right there, gets the ball out, and there's Aggies there, but they can't fall on it.
1st and 10 to Amu. On the run, to Amu slips through. Wrestled down from behind right at the 45. Dalen Mack reached out and grabbed his jersey to bring him down at the 45.
Mike Elko's got a little bit of a conundrum right now as the defensive coordinator for the Aggies. If he goes split safeties, they've been able to crease them with throws on the RPO world down the center. We saw that last drive with Octavius Cooley for 23. When he goes single high, they've not been able to make the plays outside, and now you've got Isaiah Willard creasing it with the running game.
Aggie defense has barely been on the field, but they've given up a couple big ones in the pass game. So to Amu over the middle in the air. A.J. Brown, another big one through the air. A.J. Brown down the sideline. Finally wrestled down by Mylan Jones. And now A.J. Brown is slow getting up after a gain of 39. And Brown still on the sideline for the Rebels.
There again, a split safety look, a little RPO world. Now it was a preconceived pass. You can see the offensive line protecting there. And their go-to receiver, A.J. Brown, across the middle. Big 6'4", 6'5" guy coming across the middle. That is exactly what you want as a quarterback, a big target like that across the middle.
And you know, A.J. Brown wrestled out Miles Jones, wrestling him down out of bounds. It was close to a flag. I was kind of looking for a flag. Let's see the end of this play. That could have easily been a flag on Miles Jones.
That should have been thrown. That was clearly out of bounds, and what contributed to the injury of Brown. The Aggies getting away with one there, and Ole Miss has to hope that Brown is going to be okay. He certainly looks a little banged up on that, but with DK Metcalf being down, it's really been Brown, the guy that's emerged. But the story of this game so far to me, Rick, is this Ole Miss offense with their quarterback who's clearly hobbled, finding some success against the Aggies defensively.
Right now the Rebels don't have Scotty Phillips or A.J. Brown, so it's Isaiah Woolard, the true freshman. He gets to the 13. Ta'amu's hobbled. Phillips is on the sideline. A.J. Brown is on the sideline. And we know that DK Metcalf unavailable for the Rebels. I mean, they just don't have any weapons right now.
And yet Phil Longo feels like he's got rhythm. Feels like he's got all of his cards at his disposal, whether it be the RPO game, whether it be the run game with Woolard, or just taking shots outside and one-on-one opportunities.
His legs, Ta'amu's, were huge in that game a week ago. All 5 touchdowns in the red zone were rushes, and now they want to talk about it.
So Ole Miss will get reconnoitered on the sideline in the red zone. Can the Rebels take the lead in the second? A huge gainer to get him down in the red zone, out of bounds. Miles Jones brings him down to the ground. Now, there's good news, bad news. In for more. Let's check in with John.
Well, the good news part of that is that A.J. Brown is back out on the field. What happened was he landed funny on his hand. Medical staff checked him out. He is good to go and back out on the field. However, Scotty Phillips, still with that left ankle injury, is still questionable to return.
And so with Scotty Phillips, the third leading rusher in the SEC and the leading touchdown producer in the SEC on the sideline, it's Isaiah Woolard in the backfield. Brown's on the bottom of your screen.
Matched up on Devion Renfro, the cornerback who got beat out by Miles Jones.
Ta'amu's going to look the other way and zip it to the goal line. It is caught, first and goal. Lodge hauls it in.
Beautiful comeback out at the goal line. Normally in this portion of the field, you're not able to throw a comeback out because no one has to back up. You're at the goal line, but they get it done. Well thrown, well designed play.
Only 60% touchdowns in the red zone for Ole Miss, and Jordan Ta'amu usually active in the run game down here.
Very much so. Against South Carolina, they were 8 for 9 down here. All 5 touchdowns were rushes, and Ta'amu played a huge role in that as we see a motion shift.
On first and goal, high snap, handle. Ta'amu trying to find the edge. He will walk in. Touchdown with Woolard blocking for him. Touchdown, Ole Miss. Rebels on top.
Took a page out of Texas A&M's book there with some misdirection in the motion, trying to clear out that short side of the field on the boundary. Ta'amu's legs may be hobbled up, but he had enough speed to be able to get to the outside. Everything was reading left. But then, true to form, it's Isaiah Woolard who becomes the lead blocker, and Ta'amu, even banged up, runs around the Aggie defense.
Here's Luke Logan's PAT, and Ole Miss has a 14-7 lead on the Aggies on the road. Jordan Ta'amu with a busted ankle and all. Got his freshman blocking for him, and Ta'amu's into the end zone. Rebels on top. There's nothing about this week's Aflac trivia question, so
I'm gonna have to think on this one. That's gonna be the strange noise you're hearing.
I'm going to guess a defensive play.
I believe it is also.
And off Travion Williams. Big block on the outside. Williams across the 35-yard line. AT, you said the Aggies are going to have to go back to the run game, and here it gets started.
It's their bread and butter. It's what they opened last week against Auburn with, and the quarterback's legs, Kellen Mond, were a big part of that, but this is just getting your best playmaker out into the open space, Travion Williams. They've got to be able to do it, and when your receivers are out there blocking on the edge, you cook them with grease. That's what Texas A&M needs to continue to do, is run this football and control the line of scrimmage.
And cook with grease.
And cook with grease.
On to the air. So it's a little open up. That's Osborne on the outside, Rick. Big boost for the Aggie wide receiver pool.
Good to have him back. We watched him work out on Thursday, and you could see the coaches were all excited about the way he moved through those drills effortlessly. They said, you know, we didn't know how many plays he could play, but we're going to play him a bunch based on the way he worked this week.
He was a good-looking kid, man. Very muscular, brings the physicality, and again, the leadership to that position. He was sorely missed these last 4 weeks, but he runs crisp routes, has great hands, and he sets the standard on how to work hard in the receiver room.
Second and short for Kellen Mond. Sophomore QB gonna hand off again, and on the right side, Travion Williams, the junior from C.E. King High School in Houston. First down, Aggies.
Aaron mentioned it. What's missing so far for this Aggie offense is the running game. It's nice to see them get off to a start here featuring it, and I think they need to use the quarterback's legs involved in this. That was zone read right there, giving them an opportunity to block somebody with the quarterback by virtue of his read, but also giving him a chance to run the ball. He's a very effective guy with the ball in his arm.
Mond on the right side. Williams cut back across the 50. Good patience by Travion Williams, and a good push across the 45.
Just a counter play where you pull the backside lineman and the tight end to get up there, and you hit the nail on the head, Carter, with the patience. That's what I like about Williams. Sometimes he tries to press the hole, but in a gap scheme like that, when you have double teams on the play side, it's important to be patient. He gets on the hips, rides the blockers, and picks up a huge chunk of yardage on first down. And this is where your play action game, perfect part of the field where you can take some vertical shots.
Williams slipping through. Looks like he is just short. Tisdale got him from behind after Tyrekus Tisdale had a chance at the tackle for loss.
Jimbo Fisher has been a high-flying play caller his entire career. We'll go back to the Jameis Winston days. They averaged over 500 yards a game offensively and threw it all over the yard, and he became the #1 pick in the NFL draft. It's not the same formula here until he recruits to that formula. Right now, he feels the best way to play is to possess the ball, be able to run it, and then take your shots when they become available based on the way the defense is lining up. But given the fact that Ole Miss has kind of captured the momentum of this game, they have to stay on the field in this particular drive.
We have an important injury update here. The line judge, Tim Beard, you can see him hobbling off. So that's the stoppage in the game right now. You got third and short. He's going to the injury tent.
That's a first.
Yes. College Station, Texas. We've had significant injuries on both the Rebels, the Aggies, and now the officiating crew. Tim Beard, the line judge, was injured on that second down play. And so you have a reconnoitering. Your umpire, Rodney Laurie, is now in the position of the line judge. And speaking of the line, you have 3rd and 1. Mond trying to sneak on the left side. Williams gives him a legal push from behind.
Quarterback sneak is a in vogue play again, gentlemen, because you are allowed to push from behind. It's like jumping on the pile, so to speak. And if you can move the pile at all, it's first down.
The old infamous Bush push. It's kind of what started that craze. It worked effectively for them, but it's underused. Well, Kellen Mond in 3rd and short and 4th and short situations does a nice job. The key for offensive linemen is to get shoulder to shoulder and create some surge so the quarterback can get in your hip pocket and fall forward for the necessary yardage.
Perfect spot for a shot play.
Aggies hurry up on first down. There's your play fake. Mond looking for that shot play downfield, tipped, and it is incomplete. That's Dasher, who came across the front and knocked it away for a pass breakup on Sternberger. Got the flag earlier. This time, Dasher pass breakup.
I think they wanted to take that shot downfield to number 13, Kendrick Rogers, but he wasn't there. So Mon started to come back around to Jay Sternberger, but again, we've seen Vernon Dasher for the second time matched up on him. A little handsy there, but playing through a big body to make a play on the ball.
Let him play is the adage, right? For Wesley McGriff, let him play.
I'm glad to hear a coach say that.
He's got to be excited. Wesley McGriff, the defense coordinator for Ole Miss, the way these guys are playing thus far.
Bond is going to fling it long on 2nd and 10. Davis just couldn't get underneath it with Jalen Julius there in coverage. And now 3rd and 10.
I really think the story of this game is this Ole Miss defense. As you see Matt Luke trying to get his team hyped up. When you're on the road, these 3rd down and long situations, you've got to get home. If you're going to bring pressure, you got to make sure you get a chance to get there if you're going to play man across the board. This rush should try to get after Kellen Mond, get him uncomfortable where he seems to struggle when he's on the move.
Wouldn't be shocked to see a quarterback draw here, fellas, with the idea that if you get close, you can go for it on 4th down.
Mond dropping back to the 50, takes the pressure, and takes the sack. Mond back at the 49. Forget about 4th down now. Austrian Robinson gets the sack.
The pressure of the pass rush kept Mond from being able to throw it to Travion Williams. This was a design throw, almost like a draw play. You're going to see Travion Williams come out of the backfield. He's going to run what we call a little angle route, come outside, come back under. But based on the pressure, he was not able to stay focused on him and ends up taking the sack.
That's what those big defensive linemen have to do when you're one-on-one matchups. That was on the backup Ryan McCollum, who's playing for the injured Jared Hawker.
Fair catch called Moore. Grabs it inside the 10. The maligned last in the SEC defense for Ole Miss gets another stop. Rebels have a touchdown lead in the football. 6 to go before the half. Monday on an all-new Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Stephen welcomes Hugh Jackman. Then later this week, don't miss Ben Stiller, Ricky Gervais, and CBS This Morning's Liana Oladriga. Matt Luke's got to be ecstatic right now, right, Rick?
Unbelievably happy. You lose Scotty Phillips early in the game. Your defense is playing outstanding. Talmu's doing what he needs to do, running the ball efficiently when necessary. But a great start.
Now, not ecstatic about that one. Moore tackled for a loss in the backfield. Matabike, the sophomore defensive tackle, forces loss of 3.
Get penetration off the right side of the offensive line, just running upfield. That's Kingsley Kiki just destroying Sims at the point of attack, which completely nullifies the rush lanes. Negated a big run there. That's the sort of push that this defense has fed on all season long.
With the 12th man behind him. Woolard gets across the 10, across the 15. He's brought down from behind by Donovan Wilson, close to a horse collar, but no flag and a 1st down for Ole Miss.
Aggies lose the edge of their defense right here.
Right there.
Woolard gets it outflanks the Aggie defense and gets the big gain.
Looked like Tyrell Dodson, 25, was the force player there. Anytime that breaks down, you're going to get a huge perimeter play.
Credit Cooley with the block. He's had a couple of big catches as well. Woolard on the right side, and the true freshman from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, shaking his way across the 25. Grew up eating Letha's ribs, AT.
And that was Tyrell Dodson that time, to his credit, defeated his blocker and kept leverage, which forced Woolard back into his mitts, and he gets the tackle as a result. If you play with good technique, you're going to make plays. If you don't, you get yourself beat. That is the thing that this entire team is trying to figure out in Jimbo Fisher's first season.
Scotty Phillips still on the sideline. Eric Swinney, the junior who was coming back from mononucleosis, in the backfield with Ta'amu.
One-on-one down here, a lot of space.
Jordan Ta'amu winds up, takes a deep shot. It is caught, bubbled, and a terrific grab by DeMarcus Lodge. Somehow, one-handed, Lodge hauls it in over Miles Jones.
This is exactly what Mike Elko talked about is his nightmare. The inability to play the ball outside by the Aggie defenders. An unbelievable catch by Lodge, but you're able to throw these throws all the time based on you're not concerned about the other.
Swinney, screen shoved out. We got to take another look at that one. I mean, what a grab by Lodge.
I was talking to the cornerback coach, Maurice Linguist, before the game. He said the one thing we have to do in this game is make plays on the ball. We have to disrupt their vertical pass game, but that is just true to form of what's gone on all season for Texas A&M, giving up those big plays, and just an amazing catch by 5.
And 2 of them 40-plus to Lodge, and now to Amu, 2nd and 2. He lost a football, and the Aggies appear to be on top. The second fumble recovery of the year by the Aggie defense. Alaka knocked it free. Kingsley Kiki on top. And as the Rebels were rolling, Texas A&M grabs the football back.
He's in the contact zone and doesn't protect the football. Alaka sheds his blocker. As we see Tamu here on the designed draw, they're going back to his legs, but right there gets his hand on it. Tamu just doesn't protect the football, and turnovers, which have been challenging and elusive for this defense of Mike Elko all season long, comes up huge there in the red zone.
Fellas, you achieve what you emphasize in the world of coaching, and you can obviously see Jordan Tamu had a limited week of practice based on his injury from a week ago. Probably didn't go through any ball security drills, and right there at Hansen.
Now can the Aggie offense capitalize from the 15? 8:32 before the half. Williams stood up, driven out of bounds. Webster leads the Rebel charge there.
I'm really impressed, Rick, with the way that Ole Miss's defensive line has given it to the Aggies up front. They're pushing their guys back into the backfield. This was a stretch lead zone coming off this outside edge. There's just a whole lot of push there. They're big and heavy, but they want to get it. But just when you collapse that there, 40's coming downhill, 5 gets in there to be able to disrupt some stuff. It's just a beautiful job of controlling the line of scrimmage for a defense that struggled to do that all season.
On 2nd and 9, dragging over the middle, Osmond shaking his way across the 35. You can see why the Aggies are excited to get him back.
Ole Miss is playing what we call boundary and field defense, meaning that people travel based on where you are on the field, not based on the formation. And I think Jimbo Fisher's starting to get a little bead on where they are so as to pick some holes. That's a perfect example of it right there into the boundary.
Rest of the day for the Aggie offense. On to the outside, tried to go to Osmond again, knocked away by Jalen Julius.
Nice coverage that time by Julius in the hip pocket. Broke on the hitch, and as soon as the ball got there, got his right hand across to prevent the completion.
A&M has not been able to puncture this Rebel defense. And puncture meaning get something over the top of it. They have been absolutely harassed by this secondary of Ole Miss.
Playing great.
Rebels show pressure off the edge. Picked up by Williams. Mond Osmond dragging over the middle of midfield. Julius on the stop, trying to get it into the hands of Jamon Osmond.
Same place we just saw the play previous, right there in that into that boundary, right in that curl zone. You're going to see him come off the ball. We go vertical with the second receiver, number 2. We call him from outside in, and you see a little pocket created. Mond takes perfect advantage.
34 yards on 2 catches on the drive for Osmond. Williams slips out of the tackle, gets across the 45. Woods finally finishes it all.
This is an Aggie defense. It's only averaging 2 yards per carry here, but that time Willie Hibbler, the middle linebacker, was right there to make the tackle in the hole, and Williams just made a miss.
This is the coach in me, but I thought Ole Miss was offsides. You work your snap count to try to get some of those free 5-yard penalties, and referees didn't accommodate there.
2nd and 2, shot here, potentially, Rick?
I like it because it's a very makeable 3rd down situation, and your run game's starting to get going. Take a vertical shot.
3rd and 4th down situation.
Bunt, flag down.
Before the snap, false start. Offense over 65.
Here's where those
5-yard
5-yard penalties
Crushing
start adding up, right? You don't get the 5 that you felt like you earned getting them offsides, and now you give the 5 back.
And it hurt him on the first drive of the game, and here he is up at the top of the screen. That's Dan Moore. Just a little bit of movement out there on the outside edge by Tyrekus Tisdale. Bates Moore offsides, creating now a 2nd and long.
Single high. Got one-on-one down here in the boundary to this guy Osmond.
Osmond again over the middle, grabs it again. This drive has been all Jamon Osmond, the sophomore from Houston, back on the field, giving the Aggies a boost.
Kellen Mond likes those throws that are right in front of him, and he puts this one on the money to Osmond that once again finds that soft zone, a hole in it to be able to move the chain.
On 1st and 10, flings outside. Now it's Courtney Davis. More attention on Osmond. Frees Davis on the outside, right at the stick. There's another Rebel down, and this is true freshman Keidron Smith.
Wow.
One of the things I've been most impressed about watching the tape on Kellen Mond is he loves to throw outs. He absolutely loves to throw outs, and if you can throw outs, you make the field 53 1/3 yards wide. You absolutely make the defense cover the entire width of the field.
With Smith down, step aside again. Coming up on the Geico Halftime Report, Adam, BJ, and Houston Nutt will get you caught up on a busy day in college football. Coming up on the Geico Halftime Report, 56 seconds left for the Aggies in the half.
All 3 timeouts, so all plays are still in your inventory, but you like to keep one of those timeouts to protect the field goal at the end of this half.
On 4 completions, 3 of them to Osmond, 50 yards on this drive. And now Mond to the end zone, touchdown, Buckley. Aggies in the end zone, 21 yards from Mond. 2 passing TDs for Kellen Mond, 1 rushing TD.
We call this a smash concept. Outside receivers going to run what is a hitch. They're going to do a little bit of a what we call a little fire fake in and return. The inside receiver's going to run a corner. Quarterback reads the cornerback. You play high and low. You beat the corner with your decision. You beat the safety with the ball. Beautifully executed.
The way they lined up and created that space to run that corner route was hugely effective and helpful there.
So Ole Miss with a 14-7 lead, driving on the Aggies. Somehow, a takeaway, just the 5th of the year, and Mond makes sure the takeaway turns into a touchdown, even at 14. The road goes on forever. The party never ends for the Aggies. They would like to make that come true tonight. After a win in this early morning kickoff. Fair catch. Ole Miss will have it at the 25-yard line. Our Aflac trivia question. Only former Texas A&M player to win a Super Bowl MVP. The hint we gave you was a defensive player. And yes, Von Miller's Super Bowl 50. Von is in the house today.
What an amazing player he is. That was the first name that popped into my head before we got the clue about the defense. I mean, what that guy does and what he can bring off the edge is a game changer. That's what the NFL covets, is the skill set that Von Miller brings to the table.
Smart play by Ole Miss to fair catch that, not waste any of these seconds. They've got 2 timeouts and probably need to go about 50 yards to get in range for their kicker.
Draw Woolard, so on first down you get very little, and looks like clock stop has to be a timeout.
They used their timeout.
Yeah.
Ole Miss used their timeout. Interesting choice there. Sometimes you start with the draw to decide if I'm going to go forward with the drive or just go into the locker room at halftime. And based on the play, you make that determination. With a 2-yard gain, hard to determine why they chose draw as their answer right there.
And it is defensive timeout by Texas A&M.
Oh, thank you.
So, yeah, thank you. Well, that was a lot of confusion there. Down to this. Anyway, timeout Texas A&M. So Jimbo Fisher thinking his defense is going to shut the Rebels down, and you get another chance to score before the half.
That's the old offensive coach in him.
Right?
He wants the ball back.
So Ole Miss still 2 timeouts. Now the Aggies, very confident that they're going to get a 3-and-out when you use a timeout after first down.
Mike Elko's got to be careful. He knows these one-on-one matchups outside are dangerous.
There's a lot of space in press coverage here. There are 2 deep safeties. Aggies got to keep everything inside and in front. They play it conservative here. Looking to get to halftime clearly in this situation. Trying to bleed the clock and limit.
Timeout
what
again,
A&M
Texas A&M
is going to be able to do using the timeout.
3rd down coming. Aggies have one more timeout. Strategy on the Aggie side using timeouts pretty clear, but Ole Miss running the football.
Yeah, this offense, Phil Longo's up-tempo offense is kind of built for 2 minutes, yet they seem content to get into the locker room tied at 14. We'll see if they take a shot here.
And clearly if the Aggies get a stop on 3rd down, use that final timeout and get the football back. Rebels will try and prevent that. Here's Ta'amu on the run. He slides at the 35. Where did he begin his slide?
I think he slid short.
It's where you begin the slide is where the spot is. So 26 seconds right now. The ball is marked short. Aggies will use
their final timeout.
Their last timeout. So Ta'amu, I mean, he's sliding right at the 1st down marker, but clearly this slide begins short, and that's why you have 4th down, and the Aggies will presumably get the football back.
Go ahead, Aaron.
The 1st down marker's right at the 35. He begins his slide right there. The Aggies smartly use their last timeout. 26 seconds left. This is a 4th and 1 situation for Ole Miss that they've got to be very careful about how they execute this. This is a team in the Aggies that are well coached on the special teams. They're going to have some time to maybe get a shot. And remember, the Aggies get the ball back to start the 2nd half.
So it's almost a 3-for-1 opportunity. Touchdown, 3 and out, get the football back, go after the block. That's Rugby. He's rolling out. There's no call. Bobbled by Paul in the back. Paul has to go back to get it at the 10. And the punt return against the Rugby by Brown has been an issue. He's upset he got hit.
Lots to talk about in the last 44 seconds, but it's going to be much ado about nothing, because with the ball up to 6, I don't even think Jimbo Fisher, as offensively minded as he is going to take any chances from right here.
Certainly a little bit of contact there by Johnson. As you see, Matt Brown is certainly upset, feeling like he got himself hit there.
All right, now if you're the Aggies, 17 seconds, no timeouts, and you're at the 6, Rick.
I think you're taking a knee here.
Right. So that's why you go after the punt, because the only way you're going to pull off that 3-for-1 is a short field.
Never one to question the bravado of Jimbo Fisher, but he's also got a little wisdom.
Bond hits a knee. Aggies go to halftime even with Ole Miss. They will receive the 2nd half kickoff and a chance to take the lead. Matt Luke's Rebels led at 14-7. Turnover turns into a touchdown. And that is officially the end of the 1st half with the score Ole Miss 14, Texas A&M 14. We now send you back to Adam Zucker in our New York studio.
All right, Carter, thanks a lot.
Howdy once again from Aggieland, getting ready for the start of the 2nd half between Texas A&M and Ole Miss. Time of possession, Aggies with a big lead, but we are tied at 14. Carter Blackburn, Rick Neuheisel, Aaron Taylor with John Schriffen on the sideline. Well, Ole Miss's offense has found a bigger piece of sky again against the Aggie secondary.
The efficiency of their passing game is exactly what Matt Luke wanted. They're 8 for 9. They've thrown for over 200 yards, well over 20 yards an attempt. When you can do that, you can control the game.
It's unbelievable, and it's all catch and run stuff. So Texas A&M is going to have to do something to make some adjustments on the back end where they can corral those guys, but stopping Willard from getting to the outside. And offensively, the Aggies got to get that run game going. Only 2 yards per carry in the first half. That's not going to win this game and finish, which is what Fisher wants from his team.
The biggest play of the first half was likely the takeaway by the Aggie defense. They have been few and far between. Just the second fumble recovery when Matt Luke's offense was rolling. And now the former Ole Miss center right there in the middle with the Rebels getting them fired up for the second half.
Tiamo came into this game averaging 9.6 per attempt, which was 4th in the country following Tunga Bailoa from the quarterback at Alabama, Kyler Murray at Oklahoma, and Will Greer at West Virginia. He is in rare air. These numbers in the first half are really impressive.
And it's been that way all season long. The most offensive plays of 20-plus yards coming into this game with 70, more so than even Alabama.
From inside the 5, this is Corbin. Across the 15, Corbin gets across the 25-yard line, and the dangerous Jay-Sean Corbin sets the Aggies up early near the 40 as we check with John Triffett.
Well, the big story of that first half, running back for Ole Miss, Scotty Phillips, who went down with a left ankle injury. I just spoke with head coach Matt Luke. He told me Phillips will not return for the second half. Now, the offense, it has still been very effective with him not in the lineup. Coach told me, he said the key is we've got to keep running the ball. That way we get them in man coverage. He said in man coverage, I like our chances. Guys?
Yes, he does. That's what they've been in with these long catches and runs. Neither team really effectively being able to run inside, so it's a perimeter run game that was featured in the first half.
Also not returning the line judge Tim Beard for the second half. So on the ground there's Travion Williams. And a reminder, the Aggies with 6 wins become bowl eligible. Ole Miss ineligible for a bowl game. But the book is closed on the NCAA infractions. Back to normal recruiting, unofficial visits back at Ole Miss. But bottom line, Matt Luke's team not playing for a bowl game, all about pride. He's been very pleased with the way this team has responded to that situation.
Well, they can keep their offense in balance. Last week they threw over 40 passes against South Carolina. Today only 9 in the first half and have played very efficiently.
Mond on 2nd and 4. Williams. Hot, minimal gain, 3rd and short coming against the Ole Miss defense. Giving up 499 per game.
Interesting, Aaron. We still haven't seen a lot of quarterback run offense from Texas A&M.
It's non-existent.
It was very important to their run game efforts last week against Auburn, but it has not been part of the scene yet here today.
When we see them in this I-back situation, this is lead stretch zone where they want to get the up back there to be a lead blocker on a linebacker so that Travion Williams can do his thing.
With Gillespie leading the way. Big hook on the right side. Opening the door for Travion Williams. Number 12, Cullen Gillespie, the senior from Katy Taylor, opens it up for Travion Williams, gain of 29.
This is that old school aspect of this offense. Cullen Gillespie being the lead blocker, stalking him, bam, right there. That's Mohamed Sanogo. Just a good job of being patient, and that's the run game that they wanted to spring using fullbacks and tight ends. Football used to have those, right, Rich?
Florida State offense meet Texas A&M offense. They actually had to go find tight ends just to get it done, and who knew they'd find a guy like Sternberger who leads the team in receiving as well as doing the work as the tight end.
Now trying on the left side, Gillespie blocking again for Williams. Takes it inside the 5. The fullback, Cullen Gillespie. Walk on to special team star. The donning the number 12, team captain, and now the only senior starter on the Aggie offense.
Watch this, bang. That's the way to get guys on the ground, and now he's trying to hunt up some more guys. This is the physical run game that was missing from the Aggies in the first half.
He has to do it. He's wearing number 12.
Oh, he plays that part well, doesn't he?
Home of the 12th man, number 12 leads the way again for Williams. Sanogo wins this matchup in the hole along with Kadir Shepard.
When you get in these situations down in the red zone and you get the big guys lathered up front, you want to be able to feed them. You want to have a run game that can take advantage of them. But we talked about it right at the start of this second half. Kellen Mond's ability to make plays with his legs is a tremendous weapon down here. Don't be surprised if you see a number 11 run some sort of keep scheme where he ends up keeping the ball, getting himself into the end zone.
Mond on second and goal. Williams blocking for Mond. Loose football scooped up by the Rebels. Woods has it, and he has room to run. There's a flag down as Woods goes sprinting down the far sideline all the way into the end zone. 95 yards, but all the way back at the 13, a flag is down.
And it wasn't necessary. All he had to do was screen Travion Williams from getting to the tackle, and he ends up hitting him in the back, and it's going to come all the way back.
There's no foul for an illegal block in the back. Play results are a touchdown.
Wow.
It's on the board now, a 95-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown to give Ole Miss the lead in the third.
Matt Luke was saying, no way can you call that, and they thought the better of it and picked up the flag.
That ball comes out, and Cedric Woods, the leader of that secondary, the voice, making a huge play. This defense has struggled all season long, yet here they are on the road against the Texas A&M Aggies, making a huge stop in the red zone with the scoop and score for another 6. Both these teams having turnovers in the red zone, but it's Ole Miss that capitalizes here in the third quarter.
Logan's PAT. It's Cedric Woods, 95 yards, but it starts with Vernon Dasher. He forces the fumble, and Cedric Woods, and it is hotty-toddy touchdown. Rebels have the lead on the road. Reason to celebrate from Matt Luke and Ole Miss. Since 1933, this is the longest fumble recovery for Ole Miss. It begins with the Mond fumble.
You can't give up the ball there, but you think coaches don't get excited, fellas? Watch this sideline. Watch my guy right here start running. Years ago, I was coaching in the Cotton Bowl, and I made the guys run back a long interception return by Marcus Washington. And I said, watch him run. It was Fred Couples from the PGA Tour running along with Marcus for the touchdown. People get excited on that sideline.
How are Freddie's legs?
Freddie can run.
Freddie can run.
Who knew?
Yeah, he's fun too. Corbin draws the 25-yard line. Another good return from Corbin as the Aggies need a boost.
The unfortunate thing about that turnover for the Aggies was it was such a beautiful drive. They clearly made a concerted effort to come out in the second half and run the football, but I think the defense of Ole Miss is the story of today's game. They have made play after play, and when we talked with these guys on the phone this week, their attitude, their approach, their resolve was steadfast, and how fitting that Cedric Woods gets the scoop and score, because he has without question been the leader on a back end that's been riddled with injuries and really struggled all season long.
And now we'll see how the Aggies respond after that huge fumble by Mond. It was the interceptions late the last couple of weeks, a fumble this time. On the ground, Corbin, he gets 10. Sonogo on another stop. This is a big moment here, Rick, for Kellen Mond.
Huge and very important drive to get the crowd back into it. But to your point, Aaron, those coaches for Ole Miss last week were saying that the players were lifting them up rather than vice versa. It wasn't them having to coax the players to get to a finish line. The players wanted this very, very badly, and we're looking forward to the contest in the month of November.
And now Corbin again on the right side. Good running from Corbin. Not quite as quick as Julian Whitehead on the Ole Miss sideline, but still impressive.
Well, we looked at the numbers coming out at halftime, and Texas A&M possessed the ball for 20 minutes. Remember, as good as the Rebels' defense has played today, they've been on the field a long time. So this run game, these are body blows, these 3- and 4-yard runs. That's where Texas A&M could expect possibly to hit some big plays as this game wears on with a tired Ole Miss defense.
Pressure off the edge. Williams picks up the block. Mond delivers. Tough catch over the middle. Osmond again. It's his 5th catch. Brings him across the 50.
That's what they want this guy to be able to do, and that's what he brings back, is that he can make those tough contested catches. Soft hands, just reaches out and snatches the ball. Really good coverage that time by Julius. But Osmond Catches that pretty well thrown ball by Kellen Mond there as well.
Great ball placement right there. Great ball placement.
Only way your guy can get it, right?
Out of the eye. Gillespie and Williams. Fake it, and now
The wheel. He's got
hit as he
Gillespie.
throws Gillespie, and it is intercepted by Ole Miss. Another takeaway. Webster picks it off. So the Aggies dial up the trick play, looking for Gillespie, and instead it's into the hands of the Rebel defense again. Austrian Robinson blew it all up with the pressure on Mond.
Ball was thrown late. Absolutely late. He had his guy. Gillespie was open on the wheel, but you see the feet, see the extra steps right there? That gave the free safety plenty of time to get there and make the play.
Wow, what a grab by Ken Webster. An injury-plagued career, and Webster goes up and rips it away. C.J. Miller and Ken Webster were fighting for the football. A second straight takeaway by the Ole Miss defense. And now Woolard, the true freshman, slipping out of the tackle. Woolard across the 30-yard line. And Ole Miss is bringing the fight to the fighting Texas Aggies.
They're controlling the line of scrimmage and doing an excellent job of getting Woolard to the perimeter. They're circling this Texas A&M defense. They're bringing their Y's and H's across and being able to create leverage and seal this defense. And 26 is extremely happy about it because he is crushing the Aggies outside where there's lots of room to run.
Back-to-back turnovers by the Aggie offense. Jordan Ta'amu handing off again. Woolard to the 34. Rebels playing without Scotty Phillips, third leading rusher in the SEC. So it's Isaiah Woolard, the true freshman, carrying the load.
Woolard had just under 40 yards in the first half, and many of the yards were coming on outside plays, which is exactly where he just exploited on the big play the play before.
Ta'amu reads it, tosses it, knocked away, incomplete. Miles Jones over the middle on the slant with Lodge.
Mike Elko has been looking for a corner to make a play on the ball. Miles Jones does a great job right here. I think Ta'amu missed an opportunity on a wheel route right here. He also got a little help by a deflection inside by Olaka.
Jones had that right hand just on the hip that I think affected the result of that play on Lodge.
3rd and 7. Screen. Lodge blown up. Miles Jones with a tackle. Read the screen and brings up 4th down.
That's the sort of play that they needed to have happen there. It's been the catch and run stuff that Ole Miss has been successful with. Miles Jones, Carter, you nailed it. Recognize it right away, defeats the blocker, and makes a huge play to create an opportunity to get the ball back for their offense that has been struggling to protect it here in the second half.
Miles Jones so excited to come off and get some high fives, he forgot he was on the punt return team.
He is a sophomore.
The Aggies can sure use a big one here, huh?
Brown rolls out. Rugby-style punt. Brown was upset he didn't get a flag earlier. Rollout apparently was outside the tackle box. But he gets it back here. Rebels on top. Of the spirit, the guardians of tradition. Texas A&M remains of only 6 military colleges. The Corps of Cadets, the largest uniform body outside the service academies. The Aggie former cadets have served in every American conflict since the Spanish-American War. Proud of the Aggie traditions, going all the way back to 1876, the Corps of Cadets. Second half possessions have both resulted in turnovers by the Aggie offense. One of them returned for a touchdown. Handoff, Williams, right side. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans brings you today's Scholar Athletes. Mohamed Sanogo and Eric McCoy. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans is showing their commitment to the investment of our future by donating $1,000 to the Ole Miss and Texas A&M General Scholarship Funds.
Those are two guys that play along those lines of scrimmage, button heads so far today as we take a look at Sanogo, who's been flying all over the field today. Took a couple big blocks by Gillespie.
9 tackles in the first half.
But just been balling out early on.
Williams easily picks up the first down, bouncing off of Rebel defenders to the 47.
Important for Jimbo Fisher to stay patient here. When you've had a couple of turnovers, you want to start unleashing your weapons and start taking shots down the field and get things going in your direction. Right now, you have a chance to wear this Ole Miss defense down. If they can stay in down and distance rhythm here, Aaron, this run game can churn out some really important yards, not only for the short term, but for the long term.
5 for 8 on third down today, and have twice the time of possession than Ole Miss does. Those body blows add up as this game wears on.
Williams again to the 49. Ole Miss has only one SEC win. That was at Arkansas. They can get to 6 wins, but no bowl game this year for the Rebels.
But they still play hard. When you throw that film on, Ole Miss is running around to the football. Now, they've missed a lot of tackles, and they certainly have had injuries and a lot of new faces in there, but you don't see people loafing and taking plays off. And quite frankly, they have significantly outplayed Texas A&M on the lines of scrimmage for most of this game.
Bond from the 49. Over the middle, dropped by Buckley. We check in with John Shriffen.
Well, guys, when we spoke to defensive coordinator Wesley McGriff for Ole Miss this week, he couldn't talk highly enough about the way his team has just not quit on him all season. He said, this is exactly why I got into coaching. Guys like Zedrick Woods, who will get in early. He's in there with 2 or 3 freshmen in the meeting room watching film, making sure they know what they're doing. Guys, nobody is quitting on this team, even though they don't have a bowl game to play for.
You know, Hugh Freeze hired both these coordinators, Phil Longo and Wesley McGriff. And Matt Luke, when assuming the role, kept both guys, and both have done a great job.
Trying to keep as many votes as possible in Oxford. Bond on 3rd and 8. Sternberger hauls it in. Huge grab by the tight end to take the Aggies inside the 20. The junior from Kingfisher, Oklahoma.
Sternberger is such a weapon and one of the favorite targets. Quarterbacks typically like those big tight ends just on the crossing route, runs away from the coverage. He's matched up one-on-one with Willie Hibbler, and that's a mismatch because 81 can get up and go.
One of the things Jimbo talked about in his development of Kellen Mond was his eyes. His eyes take the defense to the where the ball's going. He's not able yet to manipulate defenses with his eyes. That time it didn't matter because it was man-to-man.
Aggies' last trip down to the red zone was the fumble return for a touchdown and the INT on the last big shot. Now can Texas A&M hang on to the football and put points on the board again?
And that's the key. Again, a week ago, 4 trips down to the red zone, but only 17 points. They had a turnover down here with the Kellen Mond fumble. How they execute in this drive is hugely important with what's going on situationally right now in this ball game.
I believe Jimbo's thinking 4 downs. He's going to continue to pound and take very little in the way of risk down here, given that the last 2 drives ended in turnovers.
High formation with the lead fullback with number 12. Looking him up. Play action off of this would be a good strategy here as well.
Williams brought down by Ross Donnelly. Another good push from the Aggies, and close.
Just keep feeding them. Part of the run game is about getting into a rhythm, knowing what you're going to expect and coming off the lines of
Here
scrimmage.
he comes as an O-lineman here. Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your chin straps. Aaron's talking O-line.
I gave a little bit of love to the play action off of that I formation that they've been gashing him on the inside. That's a nice changeup, but yeah, well, I want to run the ball, of course.
I wish you could see his forehead bead up with sweat when we get down here close to the goal line.
Austrian Robinson is down now for Ole Miss. He brought the pressure on Mond that forced the interception. And another Rebel is down. 3rd and 1 coming. 3rd and 1 coming for the Aggies. What do you expect?
I think 2 downs here, but I think you're going to see that quarterback sneak. I think he goes into the left A gap there behind his stalwart offensive lineman and gets a little help from his friend from behind.
And Aaron, I know they don't pick up 3rd down. You already know what you want on 4th.
It's Jimbo. He runs this pro-style offense for a reason. Tight ends, fullback, controlling the lines of scrimmage. He puts a lot on his quarterbacks, but it all starts up front. These guys have to take over. These are the sort of situations where a team wants to go and get themselves over the hump and avoid those late November slumps. You got to win here.
Williams in the backfield, 3rd and 1. Mond, there's the push on the left side through the A gap with a little push from behind, and Kellen Mond very close. 1st down.
So at the Beatles just a little help from my friends?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
and then Joe Cocker after that.
Oh, yeah. That's a good rendition.
Yeah, oh, fantastic, especially with Leon Russell.
Don't we all wish we could sing like Joe Cocker?
Yes. Yes, we do.
Aaron, do you know who Joe Cocker is?
I'm strategically laying out here.
Strategically laying out. You're beating up sweat. We're in the red zone.
So now 1st and goal after the push and back to the I with Gillespie and Williams. Mond drops, looking for the fade. End zone, caught, touchdown. Courtney Davis. Aggies after back-to-back turnovers. A touchdown drive. Mond to Courtney Davis.
I don't know if you can throw a football any better than that. Just a beautiful job of dropping it in the bucket for Courtney Davis, and Kellen Mond's arm down here in the red zone. About to tie this bad boy up.
With the time he takes to deliver the ball, that is the perfect place. From the 3-yard line, that would be a difficult throw for him to get it up and on time. But from the 10, it's perfect.
So you get back-to-back turnovers with Kellen Mond with a rushing touchdown and now a couple of passing touchdowns. So it's all about remembering the coming back, not crying about the leaving. Even again. College Station, the beginning of our SEC West doubleheader. The Home Depot SEC on CBS. Mississippi State and Alabama to follow. Braden Mann's kickoff. Moore inside the 5. Moore waiting for his blockers. Gets to the 19. There is a flag down. Very physical on that kickoff. Gillespie got down there as well, the special teams star. That's how he earned number 12.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 11 to the receiving team. Half the distance to the goal from the spot of the foul. First down.
That'll give us a chance to look at the GMC game changer. Big win of the pass game for the Rebels.
Well, this was early on, and this is what they've been able to do. Look at Tamu with his eyes. This is what Kellen Mond doesn't do, and then just whips around and fires a dart. And it's the run and catch that has been the problem for Texas A&M all along. The adjustments that Mike Elko needs to make in this second half has had to corral these guys. It's been the outside perimeter run game of Isaiah Woolard is making that difficult, though.
After the penalty, Rebels snap it from the 8. Woolard slips out. Woolard across the 15. Lost the football, but he was down. Woolard was down. And it will be second down for Ole Miss.
You got to give Woolard a lot of credit.
The runner was down. Second down.
You've got to give Woolard a lot of credit for his ability to make the first guy miss. These edge runs have been unbelievably beneficial to Phil Longo as a play caller.
Snap it in a hurry, but it works out for the Aggie defense as Woolard is dropped for a loss. Alaka back in for the Aggies was confused, but Alaka was ready.
That's really what has been the thing that's most noticeable about this defense, their ability to stop the run. Keep in mind that Ole Miss, fellas, has not converted a third down play all game long.
They'll have another chance here against the much improved Aggie defense.
Another place to use quarterback run.
Ta'amu pumps, tosses. There's your first third down conversion, and it's A.J. Brown over the middle. Second effort, he gets across the 30, and a flag is down.
That could be targeting in the area with the way that it looks kind of bang-bang there. And another long catch and run. Tamu having time to let his receivers get open against man coverage.
Been so impressed with Tamu's ability to stand in the pocket and throw accurately, even though things aren't necessarily on schedule.
Wow. Dawson knocks the tight end with the crown of the helmet.
During the play, personal foul, targeting. Number 9 of the offense, blindside block. Penalties half the distance to the goal. Repeat, third down. Previous play is under review.
If this penalty holds, that's a huge loss for Ole Miss's offense.
He's their starting tight end. They like to move him around.
Came into the game with 11 catches for 220 yards, a big play guy, but it also takes him out of their 2 tight end sets with Octavius Cooley and he in the game at the same time.
And here he is right there in the middle of your screen, coming back against the grain towards the initial lines of scrimmage. Launches, crown of the helmet, but every box you can check, Carter, that indicates targeting, Knox just did.
And we're obviously in a situation where this is targeting on the offense, which is called less. One of the provisions of targeting in the rule book, it says the football code says using the helmet as a weapon is unethical. That's very strong wording in the rule book, but you understand why. I mean, Miles Jones is defenseless, and that is helmet as a weapon.
Looking
I actually
at this
think
next
it's
level,
a shoulder.
It's
a
no
shoulder.
question.
It's just too high. The target, he needs to use the midsection as the strike zone, and it gets above the shoulders, and you can see the whiplash effect of the headgear, which is what the official saw.
After review, the ruling on the field of targeting is confirmed. Number 9 is disqualified.
And here's where we say it doesn't have to be the helmet. You can use the forearm, hand, fist, elbow, or shoulder, and then when in question, it is a foul. That's the way the rule book lays it out. So can be helmet as a weapon. In this case, even though it's not the helmet, it is still Knox ejected for targeting.
Great job by the truck of giving us that second look. Initially, it looked like he dropped his head, but clearly that right shoulder, but targeting nonetheless. And a big weapon for this Ole Miss offense. It's one of the most explosive in the country. He's walking off the field.
And what a momentum shift for the contest. I mean, you just had a huge play by A.J. Brown. You're going to get a first down and a new field position enhancement. And now you're backed up to your own 14-yard line. Third down again.
And for Dawson Knox, he's ejected from the game and will miss the first half of next week at Vanderbilt for Ole Miss. And through all of that, third down. Ta'amu, and the Aggies read it perfectly. Tyrell Dodson pushes them back. Forward progress to the 10, but that's it. Fourth down, the Rebels will punt.
So what had been Ole Miss's first third down conversion now turns into yet another third down failed conversion, and the Aggies are going to get great field position.
Great adjustment that time by Dodson, who's initially going after the quarterback. Then once he reads draw, he redirects. A very sure tackle, and that third down Aggie defense comes through again. Ole Miss 0 for 5 on the day.
Low snap, handled by Brown, hits it at the goal line. And Paul, fair catch. Aggies have it on the plus side of the 50 in a tie game. Let's go to Adam Zucker in our New York studio for a Zaxby's update.
All right, Carter still going back and forth in the swamp. Felipe Franks to Kadarius Toney. Watch this head fake right here. 18-yard touchdown. The Gators just getting back within 10 of South Carolina. Start of the fourth quarter and the final conference game for both of them. Guys?
And we are back and forth here between Ole Miss and Texas A&M, now tied at 21. Let's take a look at the SEC East. Florida and South Carolina Gamecocks came back to beat Ole Miss.
14 points. Those double digits.
Unbalanced right here. Counter back to the boundary or wide field play to the field.
Hard count. Rebels hold. Corbin on the right side. Behind those three blockers. Corbin flagged down. Corbin delivers a blow. Going out of bounds near the 30-yard line. He gave a pop to Sonogo before he went out of bounds.
Going to be on Cameron Buckley, I think, the number 2 wide receiver on that side.
Holding. Offense number 14. 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. Still first down.
Have I mentioned things that drive coaches crazy?
Oh, my gosh. These are drive killers. Here he is right here. He's going to stock him. Rick mentioned the unbalance, meaning both the number 1 and number 2, but man.
Never going to be okay, Cameron. Never going to be okay.
Take your pick on those 2 holds. You could have had 14 or 2.
Now, this coming from an O-lineman, man. You got to at least try to get one of those hands inside. Like the effort, though, but a foolish penalty costing them valuable yardage here at midfield.
Means home with the 12th man, you have first and 12. Kellerman, Sternberger, a laser from Mond to Jace Sternberger, the former Kansas Jayhawk and Northeastern Oklahoma A&M Golden Norseman.
It was a laser, but Mond is staring him down. That ball's a little bit late. If Hibbler's just a little bit more athletic, he might have been able to pick that one off. Well thrown ball, though.
Mrs. Hibbler doesn't like calling his son not athletic.
He's a more of a box downhill physical linebacker.
He was banged up a couple times against South Carolina, but came back on the field. 2nd and 2, Corbin, right side. Aggie offensive line pushing. Got Sutherland and Carson Green on the right side, giving another push. Move the chains, 1st down. Headed towards the 4th. And for two teams who lost double-digit leads, both last week, I mean, you get to the 4th, and this is going to be huge in the development of either the Aggies or the Rebels.
This is huge. I mean, this drive right here, given the field position that you have right now with a 1st down and 10 and 35 going in, again, Jimbo Fisher will do well to be patient here.
Aggies 2 turnovers in the 2nd half. Corbin, right side again. Very little on 1st down. Shepard with the stop. So we were even at the half. Tied at 14. A touchdown each here in the 3rd. And we head to the 4th quarter. Ole Miss and Texas A&M even at 21 to the 4th quarter in Aggie land. They're ready to gig 'em. Woo! Even at 21 as we go to the 4th quarter after we're even at 14. Don't forget later in the game, the play of the game presented by Napa Auto Parts. Mond, 2nd and 9. Dumps it off. Loose football, it's incomplete. Intended for Trevor Wood, it's a block, it's an incompletion and a busted play. Victor Evans puts the pressure on Mond.
Fortuitous for the Aggies, it was incomplete. It would have been a negative play. Wood was going to catch it behind the line of scrimmage and was going to get taken to the ground.
And there we take a look at the ball control of Texas A&M, bleeding this clock, giving body blows with the run game. It has absolutely come alive with Travion Williams, but this is a big 3rd down situation. When you're down here in a game as close as this one, getting this conversion, look for a go route on the outside. And Mond's hands getting the work done through the air.
Mond feels the pressure, steps up in the pocket, gets across the 30-yard line. Takes a blow to do it. 4th down inside the 30-yard line for the Aggies.
I think Jimbo's going to, well, looks as if the field, no, I think he is going to go for it.
But Seth Small was ready to run back out there, and now Jimbo Fisher may be sending the kicking unit back to the sideline, and now here comes Seth Small. He
thought about it.
He sure did.
He thought about it. He put the brakes on those guys right away and then thought better of it.
If Mond gotten a couple more yards, you think he would have probably gone for it there.
Aggies had one of the best kickers in Daniel LeCamera, injured foot in the Clemson game, so Seth Small has assumed the kicking duties, and that 46-yarder is good. That's a bounce back for the freshman from Katy High School. He missed a 36-yarder in the 4th last week, but boots this one through to give the Aggies the lead in the 4th. He's playing their first home game in over a month. Jordan Ta'amu and the Ole Miss offense. Big plays in the pass game. This DeMarcus Lodge TD. And then the 96-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown from Zedrick Woods. One of 2 turnovers by the Aggies in the 3rd quarter. Mond, Courtney Davis on the fade. Even at 21 at that point, and then the 46-yard made field goal by Seth Small, and Texas A&M has the lead early in the 4th quarter.
We talked about body blows, right? Aaron saying keep hitting the midsection. Texas A&M was patient in the 3rd quarter. Travion Williams had 89 yards rushing in that quarter alone. Time of possession now is more than double in favor of the Aggies, 30-18 to 14-41. Those numbers will wear on Wesley McGriff's defense if this offense doesn't find a way to have a big drive right here.
Although a 96-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown. You would trade some time of possession,
explosive
right?
play. That's the definition of an explosive play.
Take that all day long.
Braden Mann to Elijah Moore. Fair catch inside the 5. They'll have it at the 25. Tomorrow on CBS, some friends come into our life the exact moment we need them most. Watch an all-new God Friended Me tomorrow after 60 Minutes, only CBS.
Well, fellas, a week ago, this Ole Miss offense, it was in a game that featured over 1,000 yards of offense, only 19 plays, 18 yards, less than 1 yard per play in that fourth quarter a week ago. It's going to take quite a bit better effort this afternoon to get this ball game and go home with a W.
And you're doing it without Scotty Phillips, a running back who went down with a left ankle injury in the first quarter. Fake it to Amu. Hit as he throws. Deep shot to Amu. Ball up for grabs. It's incomplete. A.J. Brown and Donovan Wilson in coverage there. But Kiki laid the lick onto Amu.
When we asked the coaching staff, okay, if there's one position or one thing that you want to recruit to, what is it? And he said ball skills. We have to have guys that can go up and get those footballs and take advantage of the opportunities as they present themselves. That was one of those opportunities that the Aggies have missed all season long.
Second down toss. That's Swinney. Swinney makes the first defender miss. It was Kiki on the edge, but he only got a couple. Dylan Mack cleans it up to force third down.
That play was successful because Tyrell Dodson comes off this outside edge and sets the edge, which allows the pursuit to come backside. A third and long situation coming up here. They're going to need that middle level of the defense to make some plays as they show blitz, wanting this football against man coverage to come out quickly.
To Amu, pressure, and sacked. And the Aggie defense remains perfect on third down. Wilson gets home on Jordan Ta'amu to force a 3 and out.
Beautifully designed zone pressure by Mike Elko. He dialed it up, as Aaron alluded to. He gave a man look and then ran out to confuse the quarterback, and he ends up holding the ball, which leads to the sack.
And there was a whiff block by the backup running back, Eric Sweeney. Remember, Scotty Phillips, who's not playing, a well-rounded back, very good in pass protection. That was bad across the board for Ole Miss.
Brown on the roll again. Another chance for excellent field position. Paul, fair catch, lost it. Mop, who's on top of the football.
Looked as if the Aggies got it.
And they did. Another adventure in special teams. And look who gets that football. Cullen Gillespie. Number 12 does it all, and the 12th man roars its approval. The Aggies hang on to the football and the lead. There is a flag. So, before we step aside, we will check that flag. Pretty good discussion about it.
I didn't see anything initially, and it looked like it came really late.
Illegal procedure on the offense. Correction. Defense. Correction. Illegal numbering on the defense. 2 number 9s participating in the same play. It's a 5-yard penalty for the previous spot. Replay 4th down.
Replay 4th down. Well, after the second take, so the double number situation here for A&M with Jones
Somebody's
and O'Neal.
Somebody's going to catch an earful.
Yeah.
Let me go back to my line. That drives coaches crazy.
Yeah, well, there's Jimbo discussing it with the 2 number 9s right now. I mean, as to who was supposed to be out there, Hezekiah Jones and Leon O'Neal.
And let me just say, the genesis of this problem, guys, everybody in America wants a single-digit jersey. Everybody wants one. So you have...
This goes back to recruiting?
It goes back to recruiting. Absolutely, we'll give you a single digit. That's a promise.
You mentioned the Beatles earlier.
Yes.
Number 9.
There you go.
Number 9.
There you go. Can't get one past Blackburn.
And special teams are Jimbo's baby. He really takes a lot of pride. He oversees everything the assistant coaches executed, but he takes a lot of pride in how good they are executing that 18% of scrimmage plays in a football game.
So now Leon O'Neal is out there and Hezekiah Jones is not, which probably tells you which number 9 messed that one up. So try it again. Rolling, punt, booming kick. Paul lets it bounce, and now Paul scoops it up at the 23 and steps out of bounds. So that works out to the Rebels' benefit for almost 20 yards, but they trail by 3. After a weird sequence of punts, it will be Aggie football with a 3-point lead tonight, 11 Eastern on CBS Sports Network. The top bull riders from around the world return to the dirt for another round of the PBR World Finals. And tomorrow at 4, see who will raise the gold buckle as 2018 champion. Aggies 4 possessions in the second half, 2 of them turnovers, touchdown drive, field goal drive. And now Kellen Mond has Travion Williams with them in the backfield. Williams driven back on first down. Benito Jones and Kadir Shepard.
Go ahead, Aaron. Just great job up front, taking advantage of a Kadir Shepard lined up off the line of scrimmage in a 2-point stance. That's really hard to be able to pick up and diagnose, but there's tremendous push by Benito Jones, just crashing everything. And those 2 defensive players, once again, controlling the line of scrimmage on a critical first down play here in the fourth quarter.
Wesley McGriff's defense. 6 tackled for losses now. Mond, taste again. Here comes a hold. So Mond rolling across the 25-yard line. This time it was Josiah Coatney who gets the advantage inside. Hold on the
Holding,
Aggies.
offense number 54. 10-yard penalty for the previous spot. Repeat second down.
Wesley McGriff, as we take a look at Carson Green right here at the right tackle position. There's a lot of movement, and he's going to go inside with the inside move. He gives up, and that left hand is trying to slow the rush of Coatney. What gets him in trouble. A lot of confusion with Ole Miss's defense up front, having 3 down linemen taking the 4th, standing him up, and that time it's Kadir Shepard. That look is giving the Aggies trouble up front. Back-to-back negative plays, and Ole Miss's defense is starting to stiffen up.
You mentioned it. This drive has started out poorly. They're back against the down and distance here, but you got to be patient. You cannot force a ball here and give a turnover up in this portion of the field.
Maybe a screen in this area is a safe play that can be explosive, and they go even more conservative.
Third long play for the punt, most likely.
Yeah, this is a screen down, draw down, look for quarterback draws, potential play here. You're going to be playing 2 deep high as the defense here. Multiple guys underneath. Make sure they throw it underneath you and then tackle and get off the field.
Rick, in the fourth quarter, whose defense do you believe in more right now, Aggies or Rebels?
Well, I was going to tell you that the Aggies, because of this time of possession, this Ole Miss defense has had to been on the field a great deal of the game, but this is an unbelievable drive right here for this team. As Aaron pointed out, 2 negative plays to begin the drive.
Forcing into a 3rd and 20, and here's Williams, and now you get a 3 and out. So remember, roll that through the punt and a muff, and then recovered by the Aggies and do it all over because the procedural penalty works out to Ole Miss's advantage. The penalties offset, and through all of that, a 3 and out and excellent field position coming for the Rebels there.
Great job by the Land Shark defense, playing like actual land sharks, sharks that have some teeth in their mouth. And that defensive line, man, give them credit. They stepped up on that drive. They've been getting gashed in the third quarter, gave up a ton of rush yards, but they showed up big here. Remember, finishing is key. Both of these staffs emphasized it, and Ole Miss playing like they want to finish this game, getting the ball back for their offense.
Man, line drive, and he gets it right past Moore. How can they cover? Moore scoops it up. Elijah Moore waiting for blockers, finds some space. Elijah Moore across the 25, across the 35. Loose football again. Ole Miss is on top. So a muff in the punt game for the Aggies. They get it back on a play that didn't count. This one does. And Elijah Moore lost it. And somehow the Rebels, it's Linton who gets back on top of the football to make sure that Ole Miss, through all of that, gets the football at the 34-yard line. Rebels trailing by 3, but they hang on to the football. Gamecocks had to come back to win it last week, and now the Gators coming back on the Gamecocks. here at Kyle Field. That is not a good drive chart for the Ole Miss offense. I mean, the score in the second half for Ole Miss was the 96-yard TD.
Only 28 second half yards offensively for the Rebels here in this half.
After struggling a week ago, let the Gamecocks come back.
Cooley right down the seam.
The tight end, Cooley, and there is your RPO to the tight end. All of a sudden, Octavius Cooley, big weapon for the Rebels.
This is exactly what they're going to do if they get two high safeties. Mike Elko decided to go ahead and roll the dice, play too high right there, try to get a stop in the run front. They took advantage, and Cooley got behind him.
He had 4 catches coming in, has 3 today. Ta'amu's going to fake it, toss it, seam again. Nice grab, reaching down to get it. Elijah Moore, the true freshman who is emerging. He makes a heck of a grab there.
When they lost DK Metcalf, Elijah Moore became the slot receiver. Last week he had 11 catches for 128 yards and made some circus catches. That one right there he took off the ground. A beautiful play by him. This is exactly what Ole Miss needed on this particular drive.
53 yards on the last 2 plays for Ole Miss.
Motion out of the backfield, carried defenders away from the targeted spot on the field. Formationally, Ole Miss did a nice job there. New quarterback under center.
It's a Wildcat, and on 1st and 10 to the 11-yard line. That is Jason Pellerin, the junior tight end who comes in to take his first snap. And now right back to Jordan Ta'amu on 2nd down.
And this is a big difference when you have somebody with Ta'amu's legs busted up. You put Pellerin in there. Schriffen and I watched Pellerin warm up as a 3rd quarterback option. Clearly probably getting ready for this situation if he had to come into the game. Ta'amu's legs down here in the red zone have been deadly. Lack of mobility is going to be something interesting to see how they can take advantage of him not moving as well.
Ta'amu pulls it. 2nd down. Zip complete. Brown to the 5. Rick.
Again, that comeback out down here on the goal line. What the receiver does is give the DB the look of a fade and then comes back. But he takes his time because he's not a first choice. Ta'amu came back across the field and found him as a 3rd option.
Aggies rushed 4 that time, and Ole Miss's offensive line did a beautiful job in protection to allow that time to take place.
Quarterback run, again, a weapon down here. Phil Longo very creative in this portion of the field. They also have 6'4" wideouts outside if they choose to take fade.
A lot of space at the top of the screen, one-on-one.
Ta'amu pulls it. Trying to bounce it outside, and now tosses out the back of the end zone. Ta'amu was looking to run it. Alaka got the pressure, lodged the intended receiver, and Ole Miss will have to settle for a field goal attempt from Luke Logan.
A great job right there by the Aggie defense and locating the receivers, knowing where the throws are. They were looking to try to get a post right back there at the back of the end zone. They took it away. Ta'amu had to get out of the pocket and realized, I got to get this out of my hand.
Logan missed a 28-yarder at Arkansas, and Jimbo Fisher wants a timeout prior to the 22-yard field goal attempt. Maybe another personnel issue for the Aggies on special teams, but it is a timeout prior to the field goal attempt.
Maybe talking to those guys about alert fake, just to make sure that
I'm looking to see if there are 2 number 9s.
There were no 2 number 9s, and there were 11 players. I did count them. I think they just kind of want to catch their breath and regroup. Points have been a premium here in the second half, and in a game this close, you want to make sure all your T's are crossed and I's dotted.
The other thing you want to make sure is they understand they can get a first down here, right? So what they're trying to make sure is no one jumps off sides. Maybe that was the reason for the timeout, to make sure that that was communicated.
And with 7:22, you still have 2 left, but worth keeping an eye on to see if that timeout
it's
hurts
costly.
the Aggies later.
Those things are like gold, especially in a game as close as this one.
And now out of the timeout. 22-yarder from Logan. Brown is the holder. The 22-yarder is no good! And the Aggies hang on to the lead. Logan missed a 28-yarder at Arkansas. Rebels won it anyway. But now a missed 22-yard field goal, and Ole Miss still trails it by 3. Wide right. That timeout looking pretty good right now for Jimbo Fisher and the Ags. Can the Bulldogs pull it off?
They have the kind of defense that can do great things. And with Jalen Hurts maybe on the shelf and Tua Tagovailoa a little banged up, they're going to have to be careful about how many times they put him back there in that pocket with that great defensive front.
Here goes Jay Sternberger. Made a nice grab in the flat, and Sternberger across the 40-yard line. Sanogo with his 16th tackle after another big game for Sternberger.
A great opportunity here for the Aggie offense. A week ago, with just over 5 minutes, they took a 3-point lead and had an opportunity to salt the game away to win it. And Jordan Hare, here there's little more than, or just under 7 minutes now. They can have that opportunity again, finishing what they start. That's the Jimbo Fisher theme of the week.
Snap it at 10 seconds here. Mond pulls it. Kellen Mond rolling across the 50-yard line with a block on the edge from Courtney Davis. Kellen Mond there makes the right decision to pull that one.
It was only his 8th carry of the game. It was a misdirection. They ran counter action to the left, which sucked the linebackers over, and Kellen Mond holds the football and then basically comes all the way back around. It's a zone read. The end crashes down. Josiah Coatney takes the bait. Kellen Mond's legs show up big when they're needed most. Aggies across the 50 and driving.
Last 2 plays, 36 yards for the Aggie offense. Ravion Williams on 1st and 10. Williams pushing inside the 40. And a drive where the Aggies are looking to. Got another Ole Miss Rebel down. It is Benito Jones who is down. Jones getting back to the Ole Miss sideline as the Aggies look to score and run some clock on this drive.
There is there directly over the center, just gets rolled over. Hard to see exactly what happened there, but in the middle of your screen, number 64, and then the left guard comes over, just gets put on his back and rolled over the top. It's dangerous down there in them trenches, boys. He's had a nice game.
What's it like, Dad? What's it like, Dad?
You better buckle your junk and bring your lunch, I'll tell you that.
So now you see the clock rolling. Rick, you pointed out, reset to 40 because the defensive player injury.
Right. Don't want to ever give the impression that the defense can feign an injury to gain time on the clock.
Williams, right side, sheds away from Sanogo. Williams inside the 15, but a flag is down.
The missed tackle by Sanogo allowed for the big run, but then Trevor Wood, I wonder if that was a hold on him, the tight end out there on the outside edge.
Personal foul, face mask.
Face
46
mask.
defense. Half the distance to the goal from the end of the run, automatic first down.
I think that's going to be on Coatney because 46, Sanogo, nope, there he is with his left hand on Travion Williams as he missed that tackle. That's a double minus on the play for a guy who's been all over the field this afternoon with 15-plus tackles, 16 now. Number 46 has had today for the Rebels. Just a costly mistake, gives terrific field position for an Aggie offense that needs it.
Absolutely want to take as much time as you can take and finish this drive.
With a touchdown.
Is what I meant. But I appreciate you making the clarification.
Been a challenge for him.
Mond hands to Williams inside the 5. Well, the red zone's basically the difference in this game. Ole Miss, 1 for 3 touchdowns. You got a touchdown, the fumble, the missed field goal. And A&M touchdown, fumble, made field goal, 24-21. I mean, that's the difference is the red zone.
Ole Miss is hoping lightning strikes twice. They picked one up and went 94 yards down the other end in the third quarter.
Take a look at that. Texas A&M with 8 possessions in Ole Miss territory. You like the points that they put up, but the 2 punts and the 2 turnovers are not how you win ball games.
On 2nd and goal. Fake it, toss it, and it is caught. Touchdown. Courtney Davis finishes off the Aggie drive with a Texas A&M touchdown.
Beautiful little play action fake here. Just going to drop the ball to the back line of the end zone. And Davis does the rest. Beautiful job.
Just looked like it was a bust on that back end. because Davis came completely wide open. Sonogo needed to drop a little bit deeper if he was responsible for that part of the field, but just a well drawn up and executed play for Texas A&M to finish that drive, Rick.
Sonogo has no chance. It can be a run stopper as well as a play the back line.
Puts a lot of pressure on him.
Seth Small, PAT, second touchdown grab by Courtney Davis. Elijah Moore from inside the 5, fair catch. Ole Miss football at the 25. It is at a premium now with 4:36, Rick, 3 timeouts. Rebels gonna have to do it in a hurry.
Well, it's 2 scores you're down, so you have to put together 2 drives. You can't just think about manufacturing one. So you've got to make sure you try to get this drive completed inside of, I'd say, 3 minutes. Take a minute and 36 to try to find a way to get a score here. And remembering 2 scores, you're not unwilling to kick a field goal, although your confidence in your field goal particular portion of your team is probably waning.
And you want to save your timeouts for the defensive side since it's a 2-score game?
Exactly.
Ta'amu from the 25. Fires. Good drive starter for Ole Miss as they move the chains immediately. Clock stops temporarily. Elijah Moore down the hash again, 18.
And the change up there for Elko is playing a safe cover 3 zone defense, trying to keep everything inside and in front. Catching and running the football today has hurt them. The Aggies can't let that happen here.
Ta'amu is going to scramble on 1st and 10. Ta'amu goes down, gets maybe 5, but obviously the clock rolling.
What we're seeing here for A&M on defense is a big shell. 2 deep shell, everything in front. Make you throw underneath and let the clock keep ticking away.
Tick it does. Under 4 minutes. Ta'amu. Pressure. Check down. Complete. 1st down. And Willard, the true freshman, makes just the right play. 1st down, gets out of bounds.
When you're playing safe on the back end, you don't have that extra safety to be able to try and bring some blitz packages. Tons of time that time by Ta'amu to be able to find his open receiver extremely late.
That time they ran a inside route that took the hole player, that guy between the 2 deep, and took him away and then had a chance to go over the top of him.
Ta'amu.
See if they come back to it.
Moore going the other way, wrestled down back at the 50-yard line, and it's Keldrick Carper who makes a terrific play in open space, no gain.
Moore would have been better off going down. That extra effort cost him that time. But how about how quickly Ta'amu gets the ball out? He's like a shortstop that's trying to turn 2. He gets it in his hands and fires it away effortlessly.
Single high here. He's seeing the protection issues.
The 12th man behind the Aggies. Ta'amu is going to take a shot. Downfield, Brown. It is caught inside the 15. Brown goes and gets it over Miles Jones again.
That's been the thing that's been hurting this defense all season long. The key, Jones can't be in better position, even face masks A.J. Brown, who does a great job of getting that big body on the ball and coming up with a huge catch on a 50-50 ball here deep in the red zone.
Over 1,000 receiving yards now in his junior year.
The same opportunity into the boundary here.
Ta'amu scrambles. He has room. Ta'amu pumped, still behind the line, so he tosses it where nobody can catch it, including Octavius Cooley. So 2 minutes, 22 seconds. Rebels need 2 scores. And A.J. Brown is actually just past Shea Hodge for the Ole Miss career receiving yards record. That can wait till after the game for A.J. Brown. He just wants to get in the end zone to give his Rebels a shot.
Quarterback draw, not a bad option here too as they spread out.
2nd and 10. Zip complete. Out of bounds. That's Elijah Moore. Moore gets out of bounds. You're outside of 2 minutes. So 3rd down coming and the clock starts rolling as soon as they reset it, even though Moore gets out of bounds outside of 2 minutes.
And remember, Ole Miss can still get a 1st down here, not by much. The 1st down marker's at the 1-yard line. They're going to be running out of time here with just over 2 minutes. They got to find a way to get it into the end zone.
Ta'amu fade. Brown in zone, juggled and incomplete. Miles Jones able to give Brown just enough opposition to force 4th and 6. The kicking unit will come on after Luke Logan missed a 22-yarder his last trip out.
Just a great job of Jones not giving up on the play. He got beat to the outside with a relatively clean release, but he stayed alive in that last push. Even though Brown is trying to come down with that football, he got him out, forcing the field goal. Good stop that time by the Aggies.
And now Luke Logan. A big opportunity for a bounce back. This one from 24, and the sophomore drills it from 24. So you get 3 rather than 7, but the Rebels still have 3 timeouts with 1:51. Now can they get a stop on D? Monday on CBS, critics call The Neighborhood daring and laugh out loud funny. Catch a new episode of The Neighborhood Monday, 8, 7 Central, only CBS. The fact that Ole Miss gets points on the board and Matt Luke still has 3 timeouts, that dictates what's going to happen in the last minute 51, Rick.
I think they'll kick it deep here and put it on their defense to get a stop. And what Matt Luke needs to say now to Wesley McGriff is, I've got your back. Don't worry if they throw it over the top of us and score a touchdown. If that happens, I'll take the blame in the media room after the game. You got to go in there and commit people to stopping the run, assuming that we got to assume Jimbo Fisher's going to try to run the ball, again, trying to build a culture here at Texas A&M about finishing. So I think that's exactly what has to happen, although they're lining up with the ball on the ground as if they are going to absolutely kick an onside.
And so the Aggies hands team out there. Travion Williams is in fact back for Texas A&M. We'll see if the Rebels actually do onside kick or whether this is a bluff. It is an onside kick, and the Aggies have it at the 46-yard line. And Trevor Wood gets on top of the football. So even with the 3 timeouts,
well, it's a field position issue. I mean, he probably felt because his defense has played so many snaps, I've got to take a chance to get the ball back here. I can still get it back. The offense can have to go the long length of the field, but I'm willing to take that chance given the opportunity to get it now.
I think the call would have been to kick it off there because you have 3 timeouts. Remember, this defensive line has been doing a nice job these last couple series of controlling the line of scrimmage. Obviously, in an obvious run situation, I would have liked that matchup to see Ole Miss's defensive line go one-on-one with Texas A&M. Now they don't have that option with really good field position here with the Aggies.
The SEC's worst defense looking for a critical stop. Williams with his 31st carry, and it opens up wide for Williams inside the 20, and Travion Williams with an Aggie exclamation point. Touchdown, Texas A&M. The Aggies winning the 4th quarter.
Uncanny how Jim Turner, the offensive line coach, and Jimbo Fisher have made this lead play, this fullback offense go in the short amount of time they've been here at Texas A&M. They didn't have fullbacks and tight ends in this offense for the last several years in the Kevin Sumlin era. They have found a way to do it and do it unbelievably well.
But it's a bender play, Rick. They start out to the left and come all the way backside. That's a very unconventional look that creates a lot of pressure for a defense. You have to be gap sound. Ole Miss wasn't, and they paid big. Texas A&M learning to finish, something that Jimbo Fisher wanted. That's the way you do it.
Aggies celebrating all the way from College Station to the Corpus Christi Bay by 14 in the 4th. The Home Depot SEC on CBS. 2 matchups in the SEC West. We begin with the Aggies and the Rebels, with Alabama and Mississippi State to follow. Well, now hindsight, we can look at Ole Miss and the decision to onside kick, give the Aggies a short field, and Texas A&M walks into the end zone 18 all but put it away.
Finishing was the thing that Jimbo Fisher talked about. It's a learned skill. It's about sensing that you have the opponent on their heels and putting the game away. That last play is a perfect example of this team doing that.
Coming up next, the Home Depot SEC on CBS brings you the best game from the best conference. 16th ranked Mississippi State, #1 Alabama. Last year, the Bulldogs had Bama on the ropes until the Tide pulled off the win. with a dramatic finish, just 25 seconds remaining.
If there's any good news for Ole Miss, they didn't use a timeout. They have the same formula. They've got to go down and score quickly. They still have 3 timeouts to get the ball back. They're just down to $1:39 right now.
That's going to be tough to get those 2 touchdowns to try and tie this thing up given this situation.
Start with an incompletion intended for Lodge.
When you're in this kind of situation, though, you cannot throw underneath. You need to be throwing the ball past the stick so that the clock will stop as they administer the change. You can't keep throwing those balls underneath unless you're going to use your timeouts on this particular drive. Again, 2 touchdowns down, you would like not to.
All their big plays early on in this game were in catch-and-run situations. Maybe that's what they were looking for there, but something like that.
Yeah, you're past the sticks, the clock stops, and here they come.
Perfect.
Ole Miss likes to play hurry up, so build for it, but this is an extreme hurry up situation. 1:20, you're down 2 touchdowns. Nothing over the top, almost picked to seal it. And how about Debione Renfro, who has been maligned and given up some big touchdowns this year? He nearly sealed it for the Aggies with a pick.
Almost had a chance to bring that ball down, but finishing on the ball and those ball skills, that's another perfect example. You like the pass breakup, but you like even more if you can catch it and end this game.
Nearly had another chance and a flag on Renfro coming. He was thinking about it.
The offhand got on the back. Mike Elko now deciding to go with 3-man pressure.
Defense number 29. Ball will be placed in the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
You wonder if he was feeling a little bit overconfident trying to break on the ball there, but just was there a little bit too early. And Rick, back to your point of the 3-man rush, they started doing that the series before, being a little bit more conservative, wanting to keep everything inside in front of them. Go ahead and catch it, but we're going to make you earn your way down this field to bleed the clock.
Draw across the 50. Muller wrestled down. Alaka with a tough tackle. No flags.
The coverage that is being employed right now.
Timeout Ole Miss.
The coverage being employed right now by A&M is what we call Tampa 2, which was used in the old days by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Derek Brooks, who would run down the center of the field and become, in essence, the center fielder. They're just pre-dropping him right now, Aaron. They're just put him down there and are holding with eyes. So it's a cover 2 shell, 5 underneath, rerouting all the receivers, and then playing an umbrella on top of everything, trying to keep from anything getting behind them.
And it's a good adjustment because when they were playing man coverage and being aggressive, it was the catch and run stuff, particularly on the perimeter, that was really hurting this defense. Finding a way to get home when you're rushing 3 is going to be critical for Texas A&M, particularly with a quarterback that's not as mobile as he's been. But to your point, Elko defensively wants to keep everything inside from these guys.
Well, this is all about the clock. A minute, 1-2 touchdowns. I mean, if you just keep them in front of you, you win the game. And so Ta'amu, there's nothing over the top, and now you're dropping everything underneath, and you're under a minute, and it would take a huge bust by the Aggie defense at this point to give Ole Miss a chance.
This is all well and fine for the stats. Guys putting more yards in the stat book, but you've got to get behind them, and you've got to take a chance here to have any hope of gaining a chance to get back in this game with an onside kick and getting the ball back. You've got to score, and you've got to score now.
You're almost 4 verts at this point?
Absolutely.
Ta'amu to the outside. That's first down, but 51 seconds, and you're nowhere near the end zone.
I like Ta'amu's ability to be able to push the ball downfield, but when you have a defense that's playing so conservative, and what's going to get interesting is we get closer to this goal line, this field's going to shrink, but some of those intermediate routes could open themselves up because the Aggies are so concerned about getting beaten deeply.
You can't
afford that. You've got to take a shot, and you've got to take it now.
Ta'amu with the clock ticking. He's rolling. Ta'amu is just going to dump it out of bounds. Nearly took the sack. 42 seconds. And, I mean, this is miracle time now is what Ole Miss is hoping for. And for Jimbo Fisher, who spent this week talking to his team about Michael Jordan and dominating. And about the Detroit Pistons and how they didn't just want to beat you, they wanted to demoralize you. He went to 1980s NBA talk to try and fire up his team after the 10-point loss.
Laugh about the 1980s, Aaron.
Hey, I
there
was
were some
there
of us
during the
that
1980s.
were wearing puka shells not so very long
He also
ago.
made a Rodman reference, and I was there in the south side of Chicago in the early 90s as well.
I just don't understand these throws right now, given that you're 2 touchdowns behind.
It's almost academic at this point. You've got to take some vertical shots. You have to score a touchdown, get the onside kick, and somehow score another touchdown just to tie this thing up. It's just going to be a little too little, a little too late. But to Matt Luke's credit with his team, these guys are still out there playing hard. They put themselves in this position without their leading rusher, Scotty Phillips, today, and a quarterback with a bum leg.
Big hit, inbounds. Ole Miss will have to use Miles Jones on the outside. Ole Miss will have to use a timeout. 1 left. 2 touchdown game with 31 seconds and 4th down coming. And now it is time for the play of the game, presented by Napa Auto Parts. And I tell you what, Travion Williams has made a few. 228 rushing yards, but this 46-yard TD all but iced it for the Aggies.
And it was a lead, as Rick alluded to, but Cohen Gillespie doing a beautiful job from that fullback position, coming up huge with blocks all day long. It's not just Travion Williams, who's a terrific runner. This offensive line struggled, but they hung in there. Jim Turner's unit has to feel good about the production that they ended up finding. But Gillespie, it's been all about him. He's had a magnificent game.
And should they hold on to win here, what a great first year for Jimbo Fisher. I mean, literally could have won all but one game. The only game they were really out of was that game against Alabama in Tuscaloosa. And then an eyelash of beating Clemson here in front of a sellout crowd. And to come back and now have 3 in a row to finish the season, 3 in a row at home. If they hold on and win here, they get UAB here next week, and Bill Clark's team is anything but a shoo-in. Mm-hmm. They are playing fantastic football. And then they finish with LSU. And what a monster win that would be in front of what promises to be a sellout crowd.
Now, Matt Austin and his crew, they've gone back to a replay here. The Ole Miss sideline was asking for a targeting call on that last play, and we'll see if replay officials both here in College Station and in Birmingham agree with Matt Luke and Ole Miss whether there was targeting on this play on Jones. Could be.
Interesting there, because the top and the crown of helmet of Jones's head does make forcible contact with the head and neck area. Doesn't look like he's trying to spear, but there was contact with the crown of the helmet nonetheless.
That happens right in front of the Ole Miss sideline, which is why no flag was thrown. But replay can call targeting even if there's not a flag on the field. So that's exactly the scenario you have here, is stop it down to check to see if that is targeting on Miles Jones.
And that's one of those bang-bang plays. We're looking at it here in slow motion, but Jones just simply reacts and wants to make the tackle. There was no malintent there whatsoever.
In real time as a defender, this is where you get frustrated, because you're sitting there trying to make the perfect wrap-up textbook tackle. It looks as if he's trying to keep his eyes up, which is the coaching point, and then he's trying to hit the midsection of the receiver, and unfortunately they hit headgears.
And this was something Jimbo Fisher talked about this week in the targeting review. This game, 31 seconds. If it is targeting on Jones, ejected from this game, and he would be out the first half of UAB. We just talked about how UAB is a formidable opponent, and
8-1 coming into today.
Right, and yes, the last 31 seconds of this football game mattered, but Jones would be out the first half of that game as well, just as you were trying to find an answer, starting to find an answer there at corner in Miles Jones. And so, yes, this is, 15 yards first down here, but
listen, we're trying to make the game safer, and we're all for that. I'm just saying I feel badly for some defenders, because it almost always falls on the defenders, although we lost an offensive player in this particular game. But that is a bang-bang play, and he's trying to do everything the coaches taught him to do.
And I guarantee you, if this is targeting on Miles Jones, Jimbo Fisher is going to have something to say about that this coming week.
He certainly is.
After review, there was targeting on the play by number 10 of that Texas A&M. Number 10 is disqualified. Penalty reinforced. 15 yards, automatic first down.
One of the interesting things I noticed at the end of the play is Miles Jones, all 185 pounds of him, kind of swolled up over Elijah Moore. When you're thinking about intent and these officials are trying to decide whether or not it's targeting or not, this is just a bang-bang reaction play, but watch Jones immediately after the play kind of mean mug Elijah Moore and swell up on him and stare him down. Like it or not, that has an impact, I think, on the mindset of the officials as they go to make that decision. They got it right there, but you got to be smart in situations like this.
Ole Miss has to score and has to score right away to have a chance to score twice.
Ta'amu's going to zip that incomplete off the hands of Elijah Moore. I mean, even the targeting helps Ole Miss, but you're still in the same spot where you're down 2 touchdowns and they haven't thrown to the end zone yet.
And Mike Elko and Jimbo Fisher are all too happy to give up that throw. We're not going to let you get behind us. You go ahead and take all your time in front of us. We're 2 scores ahead.
We're just going to simply run out of time. It's been a beautiful job from a defensive standpoint executing for the Aggies on this drive.
Aggie defense keeping everything in front. So here's Ta'amu to the end zone. It is out the back and incomplete. Important note here, yeah, there's 21 seconds, but Ole Miss was not charged a timeout there because of the targeting review. They have 2. I mean, the Rebels wish that mattered more at this point, but
they don't count for points at the end of the game.
Right.
they need to get this ball into the end zone. They need to get it done now to have a chance for an onside kick and a Hail Mary.
Or as they say, needed it yesterday. You needed it 3 minutes ago.
We got A.J. Brown down here at the bottom of the screen, locked up one-on-one.
But the math just doesn't work out. 19 seconds. Ta'amu will take the sack. They use a timeout. 15 seconds. 2 touchdowns, 15 seconds. Haven't got it there yet. The Aggies are going to be bowl eligible. They're going to get their 6th win in Texas A&M after losing a 10-point lead in the 4th quarter last week. And you go back to just a couple of weeks ago when the Aggies were 16th in the country, and then Mississippi State and Auburn, and the picture has changed. This was a critical one for Jimbo Fisher with a good UAB team and LSU left on the Aggie schedule to get to that critical 6 wins in year 1.
We're 15 seconds away from calling this one over, but this is going to be exactly what Mike Elko and Jimbo Fisher are going to show their respective sides of the ball. Darryl Dickey also there as the offensive coordinator in terms of finishing. Both sides of the ball have had their problems today, but in terms of finishing with 7 minutes and change left, they got it done.
And appropriately that it was Dalen Mack, the senior from Gladwater, Texas, who's been stepping up his game all season long, that got home and got the sack that brings up this 4th down situation. It's just, this is the thing that they've been trying to do. You just hope that one of your big bodies can go up and snatch this ball in the end zone.
Underneath again, and 9 seconds, 8 seconds.
Short of the first down.
Ball game.
A stat stuffer.
Apparently used the last timeout. Stopping it was 6 seconds. Well, anyway, it's the Aggies. The point is the Aggies will win with the switch here now, getting back on offense. The Aggies can just take a knee, but you don't finish at Mississippi State, don't finish at Auburn, come back home for the first home game in over a month, and the Aggies 17-3 in the 4th, Rick, to pull away from Ole Miss.
Great job by both sides of the ball. Lots to correct, but this is what they're looking for. And for Ole Miss, listen, there's not a bowl at the end of the season, but 2 big games coming up. Vanderbilt and obviously the Egg Bowl against Mississippi State. Look for them to play very, very hard down the stretch.
There will be a bowl game for Texas A&M for a 10th straight season. Aggies did not play perfect. 2 turnovers in the second half kept the Rebels in it, but Jimbo Fisher and the Aggies with a 38-24 win over Ole Miss to make it 6-4 on the year. So for Rick Neuheisel, Aaron Taylor, John Schriffen, I'm Carter Blackburn saying so long from College Station. You've been watching the Home Depot SEC on CBS. We'll get you back to Adam Zucker and company for the State Farm College Football Today.